Well, hello to my beautiful people today. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I love y'all so much. Thanks for all of your support. It means the world to me. Hope everybody's doing good today. Getting ready for a weekend. Hopefully, it will be a good, relaxing weekend for each and every one of you. Let's get started here. Hello, Miss Rhonda. How are you doing? Hey, Brown Eyed Girls. Holly S. Hey, Bo. Pat Wicks. Lori. Let's see. We got Miss Rhonda. Da, 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 da. Miss Kathy. Hello to you. Chit Chat. Hello. Hi, Elaine. Miss Charlene, how are you doing? Hope everybody's good. Hi, Bridget. Anybody else up in here? Hi, Teresa. How are you? Let's see. Ida, how are you doing, sweet lady? Hope you're well. Hi, Monica. Good to have you. In West End. Cooking Chinese dumplings. Yum, yum, yum. Sounds good. Maurice, did I miss you? My goodness. Hello and welcome. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. It is crazy to think we are halfway through the month of May. How insane is that? But here we are, almost summertime. Getting closer to the end of the month. Guys, really want to push that membership. Want to push any cash apps you would love to help me out with. My storage unit is my number one goal with any money that I get here. So if you can, and if you want, and if you are able, it is greatly appreciated. It is hot, man. It's hot out there today. It's in the 90s. It's going to stay there. It's funny because we're under a flash flood warning, but we have only like a 10% chance of rain today, tomorrow, and Sunday. So not sure where the flooding's coming from. Oh, looky here, Miss Holly. You are so sweet. You are always there. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Let's get Holly a little happy dance. Hello to Lady Justice. How are you? Thank you, Holly, for that. You are so appreciated. And before we get too much into everything, I would like to show something to you guys. And then I'm not going to read all of it, but oh, hey, Just Jana. How are you? Thank you for being here. There's our Bobby. Hello, Bobby, to you. Okay, so I'm going to show you this picture. If you live anywhere around New Orleans, you will want to pay attention. And I'm talking anywhere from 5 to 10 hours out. These 10 men and one other inmate has escaped. 10 inmates are believed to have escaped around midnight. One has been captured. Well, it's 11, and then one has been captured and returned to custody. Everyone is advised to stay alert. It says something in a press conference. One of the detectives said defective locks on cells allows inmates to escape, and said that was an issue she had been trying to address since she got into office. But anyways, they do say they are more than likely very dangerous. Do not approach. Be on the lookout. So, yeah, New Orleans got some issue going on. Just wanted to put that out there for everyone that lives anywhere drivable from New Orleans. And that also puts my location on alert as well. So wanted to show you guys that so that way everybody can know what's going on. Hi, Angel of Light. Anyone else that's come in, thank you all for being here. Even those in the bushes, thank y'all for just being here. So yesterday, all kinds of computer issues. Today, my computer's running like a champ. So, hey, Irony Rose and Shelly. Shelly, I haven't forgot about you. Just know that, okay? But, so I'm back on my computer today. Everything's going good. We are going to go over what we had planned for yesterday. We did talk about a lot of things. I did put out a post. I don't know if everyone saw it, but I'm going to, let me get to it because I'm going to play this. It says the last time I saw Sebastian was early February until I came home on the 26th. My post says, oh, really, CP? Do say more. So I'm going to play this and let y'all just listen to it. Something we addressed yesterday.
I said that in an interview a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Law enforcement does not want that information out there. I am not releasing it. It's just know the last time I saw Sebastian was early February. Okay. Until I came home February 26th. That's all I can tell you. Okay.
So Chris says that he hadn't seen Sebastian since early February of 2024 before he went to work until February 26th, which would indicate that he was either in Hendersonville on the 26th in the early morning hours before Sebastian was reported missing to see Sebastian on February 26th, or he saw Sebastian after he was reported missing. It seems like he slipped up. His mouth is trying
and let y'all just listen to it. Oh, I don't know what happened here. Okay. Something we addressed yesterday. What happened? I don't know what happened. Started playing my live. So anyways, wanted y'all to hear that. So that is important, I believe. Very important. Thank you, Teresa, for gifting 5 memberships. Welcome to the Lollipops, guys. Thank y'all so much. If you were gifted a membership, please tell sweet Teresa thank you. That was so gracious of her. And let's welcome all of our members to the South.
Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a break and get down? Welcome to the South.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much, Teresa. That is amazing. I tell you, memberships, it's a hard thing because I'm supposed to be doing exclusive things with the members. I feel so bad when I do that because I leave people out. It is such a hard predicament. So, anyways, one other thing. If you have a birthday, especially in the month of May, let me know because we will be doing our birthday drawing for all those who have birthdays the month of May, and I will be sending you a coffee cup with the state of Texas on it, so you can have coffee with me, or hot chocolate, or hot tea, whichever you prefer. So just email me your birthday if that's something you want to be part of. Okay, guys. Oh, Art Taylor, you're so sweet. She's been a member for 5 months. Lolly is the best and kindest creator, truth. Oh, you're so sweet. That. Those are kind words. I love to hear that. That really, really makes my day. You know, you get down and you get kind of blah because you feel like you're not really doing much. But Bobby, don't you ever worry about it. And that's my thing. I get it. I have no money. I can't go to other channels and do either. So I completely understand. Oh no, Shelly. We'll get to yours for sure. We will eventually. Because we're going to do that every month. I want to be able to give back a little something. And I thought that would be something pretty neat to do. And like I said, if you didn't want to give me your address, we can work it out to where the Cow Tea Designs you can give it to them and they can, mail it out straight to you. Our Taylor, thank you for gifting 10 memberships, guys. My goodness, how exciting. Thank you for that. If our Taylor gifted you a membership, please tell her thank you. That is so gracious and kind of her. Bobby, I'm just glad you're here, Bobby. You just don't worry about none of that, really. And let's welcome our new members to the
Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a right and get down? Welcome to the South.
Thank you for that, Art Taylor. And Star Child coming in. Oh, chat skipped. Star Child coming in with another membership. If you were gifted, please thank Star Child for that. That is so kind and super gracious. Let's welcome this new member. Y'all gonna get tired of our song today.
Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a right and get down? Welcome to the South.
Thank you for that, Star Child, so much. That is so sweet. And Lady for Justice coming in hot with another membership. Guys, thank y'all so much. Let's get another welcome.
Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a right and get down? Welcome to the South.
Lady for Justice, thank you so much. R. Taylor, you silly girl, you. Looky here. We got 10 more members. My goodness. R. Taylor, that is so sweet. Thank you. Y'all, I'm very, very humbled right now. Thank y'all so much for what y'all do. And why not? Let's sing it again, guys.
Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a hand and get down? Welcome to the South.
My goodness, guys. Thank you, R. Taylor. And looky here. We have got Tiff. Y'all, it is raining lollipops. We need to put some lollipops in the chat because Tiff gifted 5 memberships. My goodness. Thank you for that, Tiff. That is so sweet. So gracious. And this time, I'm just going to play a thank you because everybody is welcome to the South. And I'm going to play a little happy dance for all of those who have gifted. Y'all matter. Thank you. Thank you all so much. And Tiff, that was so sweet. Thank you. I am so proud to have each and every one of y'all with us today. It's hot there. Oh no, you've been doing your roof? Lord of mercy. Tell you what, summer is here. It's coming in with a vengeance. I went out yesterday and was outside for about an hour and I was like, oh my goodness, it was overcast, but I kept thinking I have to be careful because if I don't, I'm going to get blistered because I haven't had sun on me in so long. But I'd rather get a little at a time because we got all-star tournaments coming up.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
We got all-star tournaments coming up. Okay. There we go. Marcy. Look at Marcy. She's like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, guys. Thank you, Marcy. That is so sweet. And guys, welcome to the South.
Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a hand and get down? Welcome to the South.
Being so gracious and just helping the channel. Oh my gosh, I can't thank you guys enough. Thank y'all so much. And when I say thank you, I don't know that you understand how much it means to me to have people that care about what you're doing here on YouTube. It does make all the difference. Lady for Justice coming in with another one. Looky here, guys. Lady for Justice, you're so sweet. Thank you. Here's a thank you. Please thank Lady for Justice if you were gifted. My goodness. I think I've lost count on how many new members we got today. It was over 30. My gosh, thank y'all so much. I would love to see us just keep growing and keep growing. And, you know, there's a lot of competition out there. And most of us over here on this side of the street, we all share, you know, our subs and stuff. So Makes it a little hard when other people go live 8 minutes before you do, but it is what it is, and we're happy to be here. And thank y'all so much just for being you. Chit Chat, thank you so much for that. How sweet. You are so sweet. Look at those hearts. And a lollipop heart, it looks like that little drop under that heart. We're just going to pretend it's a lollipop heart. Thank you for that so much. Sweet Chit Chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Roxy, let me see if I can get that link for the iPhone. I forgot to put it up there. I was all over the place today. Let me see. Okay, I think I got it. All right, I'm going to pin it to the top if anybody has an iPhone and you would like to get a membership. That is your link. Thank you, thank you. Everybody, for all you're doing, for just being who you are, and for caring about Sebastian. We have the title, is there truth in his words? I saw over on X today a couple of things I want to share with you too. That first of all, Barbecue Lady and Granny's Watching did the anti-slap. They were awarded by the judge punitive damages, their lawyer fees. So, like I said yesterday, there was a whole rap song Barbecue Lady made, just bash and honk horribly, of course. Granny's Watching talks about anything and everything. She's looking on maps at Brittany J's home because she feels like that's what she's going to get. She'll be living in her house soon. All the things. Out of control, stupid. Today, I saw it was posted that because all the plaintiffs have filed an appeal, the appeal process, while it is going on, holds all money transfers. No one will have to pay anything until after the appeal is over, because if the appeal goes through, or if the appeal does like Betty's case and finds it nothing to it and throws it out completely, there's nothing that they will get. So I think it's quite funny that there's been no word from them today over there. Hadn't heard anything out of them today on X since that was filed. I also saw over there, yes, yes, couponing. I showed the picture earlier. Anyone coming in, there were 11 inmates escape in New Orleans. They are considered armed and dangerous. Be on the lookout for any of these men. There was 11 escaped. 1 has been captured. These are the 10 remaining that are out and about. Anyone within driving distance to New Orleans and even a little further out, I would say, be on the lookout because they will be leaving that area, I would think. I would not stay around, that's for sure. But anyways, yes. Prayers that no one else gets hurt. Some of them have charges that are pretty rough. There's armed, they've got guns, those kind of things. Illegal substances, just nothing good. So everybody be on the lookout. Oh, TJ, you're good, TJ. So anyways, yes, I put that out early on couponing because that is really serious. Even where I live about 5.5 hours from New Orleans. And I mean, if they were to get a car and drive west, they would be not far from where I'm at. So hey, Retha. Hi, tap dancing. Hey, couponing. Hello to everybody else coming in. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. So to get on back to our topic, there was another post I read on X, and I actually replied to it, but it stated that there was the parents that have nothing to do with Sebastian being gone. It stated that, trying to find where it is, but it also stated that they were cleared, and law enforcement has said they passed their polygraphs and that there is no evidence to say any other way that they would be guilty. That's a summary of what it said. My reply was basically, first of all, LE, I would love for them to come on and say they have been cleared, so we would know which way to go with this. I would love for them to come on and say they have or have not been cleared due to their polygraphs. But unfortunately, there has been no confirmation from law enforcement whatsoever to clear the mother and the stepfather due to polygraphs. There's a plane crash outside of Houston? Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad I'm not glad there's a plane crash, but I'm glad my son flew out yesterday and not today, because he flies out from Houston. But as far as the parents being cleared because there's no evidence, all law enforcement has said, and we need to make this clear, there is no evidentiary value at this time that the parents are involved. That was early on, guys. They have not spoken anytime lately and said the parents are completely cleared or completely not cleared. Nothing. And it's only the words of Mr. Chris and KK that say we've taken a polygraph, passed, and all parents have been vetted and cleared. I'm not sure how parents can be cleared when their story changes so many times. I mean, the truth doesn't change. The truth does not change, guys. But KK and Mr. Chris's story changes. And if the truth doesn't change, but their stories continue to change, that tells us they're lying. We cannot trust what they say to be truthful. Another day when I was looking through some stuff and going over some more things that I was wanting to talk about, I got to thinking, how much of what he tells us, Mr. Chris, has some truth in it? Think about when he made the comment that the polygraphs were taken, passed, blah, blah. Then Josh comes on panel and questions him. He goes on to Smiley. Mr. Chris goes on to Smiley's channel. He talks about the CPS cases that Josh was questioning because Mr. Chris said there was no CPS cases open. When in all actuality, there is, we later find out, that he twists and turns his words. We all know how he talks. So, I want to listen to him coming up on Websluething, because when he does, he talks and he forgets that he's actually talking and people remember what he's saying. That's my opinion. So I'm fixing to start playing this. This is going to be about right where he comes on. On panel is Web Sleuth and her co-host and the PI. I think her name's Heather, or it might be Chloe. One of the two. I forget. I get those two mixed up so much. Okay. So we're going to listen to this. If you hear what you think he's saying as something, mixing some truth into what he's saying, put it in chat because we want to discuss those things. Here we go.
No
It's
crap.
about your missing child.
Right.
And that's all that matters.
And we will always be polite to our guests.
Can y'all hear it?
Okay, so who do we have here? Who do we have here? I've put you on the platform.
You have me, Chris.
Hi, Chris Proudfoot.
Hello.
I really appreciate you coming.
Okay, starting out, you have me, Chris. He is already pissed off, and we know it just gets worse from here.
Here, I'm going to change the banner really quickly so everybody knows it's you. But I don't know how long you've been listening.
Long enough.
Long
Okay,
enough.
you sound angry. Talk to me.
Oh,
What?
Very.
Talk to me. We don't want to get you. The last thing we want to do, Chris, is cause problems between you and Seth. I swear to God.
Well,
So
I can understand that, but let me help you with something.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of the information that I've been listening to on your show, coming from Chloe, the questions that are coming
It's
from
Chloe.
people. It's very sickening and disgusting, to be personally honest with you.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So let me go ahead and address a few things to help y'all out.
Okay.
And Chloe, you're the PI. I haven't had a chance to talk to you. You haven't even called me. You ain't done.
Can y'all hear it okay, or do I need to go louder? Y'all let me know if you can hear it okay, or if it needs to be turned up some more. I just don't want to blare your ears out. Hey, Lolo. Welcome, welcome. Selena or Cecilia, hello. I think I saw Selena in here earlier too. Louder? Okay. Okay, I'll go just a little louder. Yeah, Brown Eyes, I agree. Nothing new on Sebastian. Hello, Tina girl. Hamasan. Thank you all for being here. This is Chris on Websluething, and we're listening to see if anything that he says is close to truth.
Anything, first off.
Heather
is the only one. Heather is the only one who has reached out to me or to my wife.
I
So for you
actually
to
reached
sit on
out
that
to
show
you
and sit here
month
and
or
give
so ago.
information that you have, that you don't have all the answers to, is a problem.
Okay, well, Chris, help us understand, because I know Chloe, and Chloe wants to help. And the last thing Chloe would do is want to put out misinformation. And the problem is...
Okay, I understand it. So let me just smash something real quick.
Okay.
Okay, first and foremost, anything that goes on between me and my wife is not a damn bit of anybody's personal business. I don't care what you think. I don't care what y'all got to say. That'd be like...
Okay, pause. Because the hours before that young man went missing, the hours after that young man went missing, there is a reason he's no longer in that home. So yes, you live in that home as well. His mother was with him. You put yourself on the phone with her as her alibi till midnight. So, Mr. Chris, that time frame, your past history, it all plays into a theory of why Sebastian is missing, in my opinion, guys. Because especially all the CPS cases, the talk of putting him in a home, needing him to go live with his father, and boom, the child is gone. So you can't hear him, Erna? I mean, I'm afraid to get it too loud, but I'll push it up a little bit. And I'm going to... Wait a minute, what happened here? Hold on, we got to go back. Here we go.
Comments, please, okay?
Right.
No
This is
crap.
about your missing child.
Right.
And that's all that matters.
And we will always be polite to our guests. Okay, so who do we have here? Who do we have here? I've put you on the platform.
You have me, Chris.
Okay, we're
Hi,
starting
Chris
over
Proudfoot.
again.
I really appreciate you coming here. I'm going to change the banner really quickly so everybody knows it's you. But I don't know how long you've been listening.
Long enough.
Okay, you sound angry. Talk to me.
Well,
What?
very.
Talk to me. We don't want to get you. The last thing we want to do, Chris, is cause problems between you and Seth. I swear to God.
Well,
So
I understand
Yes,
that, but let me help
Marcy.
you with something.
Isn't that
Okay.
something?
Okay, a lot of the information that I've been listening to on your show, coming from Chloe, the questions that are coming through people, it's very sickening and disgusting, to be personally honest with you.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So let me go ahead and address a few things to help y'all out.
Okay.
And Chloe, you're the PI. I haven't had a chance to talk to you. You haven't even called me. You ain't done anything. First off.
Heather has
Heather
been
is the only one. Heather is the only one who has reached out to me or to my wife. So for you
actually
to sit on the
reached
show
you
and sit here
month
and
or
give
so ago.
information that you don't have all the answers to is a problem.
Okay, well, Chris, help us understand, because I know Chloe, and Chloe wants to help. And the last thing Chloe would do is want to put out misinformation. And the problem is,
I understand. So let me just smash something real quick.
okay,
First,
Okay. Just so everybody knows, Lolo, that's so funny. Oh my God, eggs are so expensive in China, guys. $12.18, all the way up to $26.07. Well, he told the truth on that one, I guess, huh? Thank you for that. We needed a laugh.
foremost, anything that goes on between me and my wife is not a damn bit of anybody's personal business. I don't care what you think. I don't care what y'all got to say. That'd be like me splashing all your business out to the world.
okay.
It does not matter what goes on in my house. We're looking for my son. That's real
The son that disappeared from his house, right? Let's not forget that part, Mr. Chris.
simple.
Your stepson, right?
It doesn't matter. Stepson, my son. All the kids are treated as if they're your own. There is no title, a stepson, a son. It does not matter.
They treated them all the same, yet there is no CPS cases against his daughter, just Katie's son. Right? Is that how they treat them the same? To me, that's different.
Boy is loved by me just like he is my own. Just like he's my own.
Okay, Chris, may I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've been doing this for a long time, and let me tell you why people are asking personal questions about you and your wife. Okay, it's because of the situation in which Sebastian has gone missing, and they're wondering if whatever happened between you and your wife, does it have something to do with Sebastian going missing? I swear to you, it's not to be nosy, it's not to be rude, it's just trying to figure out what happened to Sebastian. And
okay, so let me make this crystal clear for you.
Okay.
Crystal
and
clear.
Everybody out there that's got all these negativity, disgusting comments and questions that y'all think you know anything about, when honestly you don't know a damn thing. And that's the problem. You assume, you speculate, all this crap. You have no idea what me, my family, my wife, everybody involved.
We know, Mr. Chris. That's the problem you have, is that we know. So far, he's not being very truthful, is he?
Going through, to include Seth, his mom, and everybody else.
Okay.
Because it's the vile, disgusting crap that comes out of people's mouths. Yes, I'm a very pissed off stepfather to this whole situation.
Okay, and I...
Oh, well, he's very pissed off, and I guess it never ceased because it wasn't too long ago we heard him even worse than this. Interesting.
I understand, and I hear what you're saying. But again...
So let me help y'all something.
Okay.
Y'all said some shit that's really, it's really none of your damn business, but since you brought it up, I'm clear.
Okay.
My parents didn't go to Alaska 2 days after we went missing.
I don't think
my parents went to Alaska was because my stepfather went for work.
Okay, nobody said they went 2 days after he went missing.
Oh, no, it's out there, trust me, because I have...
Okay, I did not say that.
Nobody said that.
I said people.
Okay.
Now, I have terabytes of videos of Seth on here saying some foul stuff. I've got videos of everybody and their comments out here.
But
trust me.
Has anybody in chat heard that 2 days after Sebastian went missing, his parents went to Alaska? It was shortly after. I don't recall 2 days. I think that's something he's making up in his head, so he has a right to be pissed. I don't know. I may be wrong.
What I'm bringing to you is not that I'm just pulling stuff out of the air.
I understand. No, and Chris, I'm glad you cleared that up. That's a good...
By the way, they didn't go for a month.
Okay.
They went for 2 weeks. My stepdad went on business. My mom went with him, but it's really nobody's business.
Well, but Chris, let me, and please understand. I swear to God, I'm coming from a place of understanding because I've been doing this for years. Okay.
Okay, so he did tell truth. We have people in chat that did hear those words. I never heard 2 days. I heard shortly after, but I thought it was closer to like a week or so afterwards. So, anyways, So he did have a little truth here.
Here's the thing. When you ask the public for help, they're going to look at everything and try and figure out what happened to Sebastian. And let me tell them, from an outsider looking in, it's okay. His parents left town shortly after. Was there a reason?
Michelle,
Did they take Sebastian with him? It is speculation that I am sorry it's hurtful to you, and I understand it. And that's why it's important that you clear it up. Just clear it up. Nobody's trying to be hurtful or mean. I promise you, we've all been asked to help find Sebastian. And this is what we do. We try and think outside the box. We try and ask questions and think outside the box and figure out what has gone on.
Same
Not
chit chat.
thinking outside of the box.
It's
Does
ridiculous.
Nothing but cause speculation. And it causes people to call in tips that don't mean anything, that you're taking sources away from the investigation because Joe Schmo down the street thinks that my family owns a cemetery. We own a funeral home. Like, where in the hell do you get up with this stuff? Not you. I'm saying the public.
And so that, Chris,
Okay, wait a minute. Let's clear up something. There is a distant family member of Mr. Chris's that does own a funeral home. I don't believe they're very close, but yes, there is. I agree with you, Brown Eyed Girl. I think Heather lies too. She kept things from Seth, her and Chloe both. But, you know, now we know that she worked and learned under SF. And that would make sense.
that's why it is great that you're here, because we want to clear this up and help you.
There we
get
go.
it up. And I'm going to tell you something, Chris. When it comes to the general public, they're always going to be calling in crazy tips and doing crappy things. And all we can do is say, that's not us. We are not doing that. But
It doesn't
And I
matter.
did want to clear
It
that.
does not matter.
I did want to clear that, Chris. I did reach out to you on March 17th, publicly and privately. You responded to me publicly. You asked me to ask my question publicly. I did. You didn't respond. I reached out to you privately again. So I have reached out to you.
Where in the public? Where?
I reached out to you on Facebook. I reached out.
In the public, do you hear that? No one has reached out to me, was his words just at the very beginning. But here's Chloe saying, yes, I did. He said he wanted it in public. What does it matter? She's a private investigator that should not be putting everything out on social media.
You on Facebook Messenger privately. You've never read my message.
Well, don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of the bullshit that I get in Facebook.
No, that's fine. That's
I'm
fine.
not-
I just want to make it clear that
Can I explain to you?
Whoop, don't
You
interrupt
send me
him.
messages along with thousands of other people.
I understand that. And that's why I took it public. And you did respond to me and asked me to ask my question publicly because you wanted whatever answer you were going to give to be public to clear it up.
What was the question that you asked me? Since I neglected your question.
And that's not what I'm
was the
saying.
question?
What
That's
an
not I'm
ass.
saying.
What
I'm just
an
I want to make
ass.
it clear that I haven't not tried to reach out to you.
and Chris, I know you're mad. God, I can feel it. I can hear it, and I understand it. You've got to believe me when I tell you this. Please, if you can dial it back a bit and get us some of these answers and let us help you clear up this bull so it doesn't interfere anymore. And like I said, you're always going to have crazy people interfering and coming up with rumors, and it's so maddening and frustrating, and I hate it. It pisses me off more than anything, and anybody that knows me knows
If
that.
this is you all, you're not in our shoes.
I know.
You haven't been in our shoes.
Okay, well, you don't know that, but I haven't been in your shoes and missing a child, no. But believe me, I can understand what you're going through, and what I'm saying is we can help you, Chris. We can help you, all right?
Yes, girl,
Anybody here in
yes.
this chat that asked about the cemetery, it's because somebody else brought it up. Just tell us. And then
Exactly. And my question comes back to, where do these people come
Yes,
up
I
with
do,
this crazy
Bobby.
crap?
I
that's
do.
the $1 million question. I don't know.
Yeah, online.
Let's clear it up. Let's clear it up for you. Let us help you.
You're saying, you're saying online, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm sorry, I said that. There's a lot
That's
of
Stacy. Yeah.
crazy people online, and just to let you know, I understand you get a lot of messages. I reached out to you when Sebastian first went missing too, to see if we could help in any way. So,
Yeah, but Chris, I understand your anger, but I'm telling you, please let us help you, okay? We're not here to point fingers at you or whatever, but the problem is, and this is what we were talking about earlier, Chris, when the public is asked to help and then no information is provided, then people, because of social media, and social media is here to stay, unfortunately, this never used to be a problem, never, until social media, and it's terrible. I will be the first one to admit it's terrible. But let us help you clear it up, okay?
There
So
you
you
go.
don't own a cemetery and you don't own a funeral home, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay, everybody, stop with that bullshit, all right?
Here, let me add this to the thing. We don't own a private plane. We don't own 78 pieces of property. We don't own a private yacht. What else do you guys want to come up and say that we own? Like we're millionaires or something. Like we've got this money growing off trees, which, by the way, would be great if we did, because I guarantee we wouldn't need anybody's help, because we'd have been home by now.
Oh, what? What? If we had all the money, he would be home by now. What the hell does money have to do with finding Sebastian? Can anyone explain that to me? And that picture I just showed was Mr. Chris's daddy, Michael Proudfoot. Yes, TJ, I agree. In my opinion, 100%. Kathy, I wonder. But I want to know, how does having all the money in the world help find Sebastian? Right, Lady for Justice? Is he talking about a ransom? Exactly, Lolo. Very odd thing to say. Hey, Gemini 2, how are you doing, sweetie? Thank you for joining us. That statement, to me, has always been a huge question mark in my head. Why? Or tuition. There you go. Possibly tuition. Maybe they could have afforded to put him in a home if they had all the money in the world. But instead, something else happened, maybe. I don't know. But that statement from that day till today, yes, let me go back. I'm going to go back just a little bit. It's so hard to do when you're on the phone. Okay, we're going to go back a little bit. Here we go.
What's the question that you asked me? Since I neglected your question.
And that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I want to make it clear that I haven't not tried to reach out to you.
And Chris, I know you're mad. I can feel it. I can hear it, and I understand it.
Yes.
You gotta believe me when I tell you this. Please, if you can.
FYI, at night, dog, and those who are contributing to the reward fund on that side, it is now at $500,000. That's huge. Okay, here we go.
Look back a bit and get us some of these answers, and let us help you clear up this bull so it doesn't interfere anymore. And like I said, you're always going to have crazy people interfering and coming up with rumors, and it's so maddening and frustrating, and I hate it. It pisses me off more than anything. And anybody that knows me knows that.
If this is you all, you're not in our shoes.
I know.
You haven't been in our shoes.
Okay, well, you don't know that, but I haven't been in your shoes and missing a child. No, but
Websluething. Websluething. It is her channel. She's the one talking right now. Her link to her channel is in the description. Please make sure you go and sub up. Let me actually put a banner down here because I didn't. I'm so glad I thought about this, because we're using fair use under the Copyright Act here. But TJ, if you could grab that link to her channel and put it in, drop it in so everybody can have it. Hey, Cinderella. Hello to everybody. Yeah, her name's Trisha with Web Sleuths. Yes, here we go.
believe me, I can understand what you're going through, and what I'm saying is we can help you, Chris. We can help you, all right? Anybody here in this chat that asked about the cemetery, it's because somebody else brought it up. Just tell us.
Exactly. And my question comes back to, where do these people come up with this crazy crap?
That's the $1 million question. I don't know.
Yeah, online.
Oh, that's funny.
Let's clear it up for you. Let us help you.
Chloe, you're saying online? Is that what you're saying?
Hey,
No, I'm
me
sorry,
and
I
you.
said that. There's a lot
That's
of
Stacy. Yeah.
crazy people online, and just to let you know, I understand you get a lot of messages. I reached out to you when Sebastian first went missing too.
I'm playing it, Angela. We're working up to
Yeah,
it.
but Chris, I understand your anger, but I'm telling you, please let us help you. Okay, we're not here to point fingers at you or whatever. But the problem is, and this is what we were talking about earlier, Chris, when the public is asked to help and then no information is provided, then people, because of social media, and social media is here to stay, unfortunately, this never used to be a problem, never, until social media, and it's terrible. I will be the first one to admit it's terrible, but let us help you clear it up, okay? So you don't own a cemetery and you don't own a funeral home, is that right?
Okay, listen close here.
Everybody, stop with that bullshit, all right?
Here, let me add this to the thing. We don't own a private plane. We don't own 78 pieces of property.
Listen.
We don't own a private yacht. What else do you guys want to come up and say that we own? Like we're millionaires or something. Like we've got this money growing off trees, which, by the way, would be great if we did, because I guarantee we wouldn't need anybody's help, because he'd have been home by now.
Right, no, I understand. No, I completely understand.
Did you hear it? If we had all the money in the world, we were millionaires, we wouldn't need anybody's help, because I can guarantee you that he would be home by now. Why? What makes that difference? I honestly believe there is some truth in that statement he just made. What does money have to do with getting Sebastian and bringing him home? This, in my opinion, that he just said, I believe is a tiny bit of truth he's putting out, mixed into all the crap that he says. I don't know. Me and you, there are so many questions. Like I said earlier, did they pay to put him in a school, a tuition? Could they have done that if they had all the money in the world, and then they could have brought him back home? Yes, Rhonda, he always leaks truths. He needs pull-ups. So yeah, what is the money got to do with bringing Sebastian home? I mean, they're going after a video and holding on to hope to a video that has no relative value whatsoever to Sebastian going missing. Law enforcement stated that. That's a fact. But don't forget, they try their best to debunk the lights in the back of their yard. So what does the money have to do with Sebastian coming home? There's $500,000 sitting out there. Tell what you know and get that money, and let's get him back home. Here we go, some more.
Okay, but understand, when the public is asked to help with social media, this is what social media does, and it can be your
Worst nightmare.
or your best friend.
Yes.
And let us help it. And I can give you examples. I can have you talk to people that have said, yes, the people at Websluething, they've helped us. They've been great. Okay. But hey guys, I understand why Chris is angry, because it's coming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Horrible crap about him. Okay. And his family. I get the anger. So we're going to help you. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let my cat out before she drives everybody crazy. So I apologize. So hang on. Chloe, is there anything you'd like to say while I let my cat out before she drives me nuts?
I will ask the question. I'll actually read you the message I sent you. So I know this was March 17th. Good afternoon, Chris. I wrote this in a chat you're involved with, but I'm worried it may be lost because there's so much chatter. First, let me say I'm a Tennessee Crime investigator and have been praying and actively bringing awareness to Sebastian from day one. His case is near and dear to my heart. I had a question. I know Sebastian went to his dad's every other weekend or so. Did you come home on those weekends? Not a specific date, but just in general. Or did Katie come and stay with you? Are you often gone during the week? Just curious about Sebastian's day-to-day dynamic with his parents. And then I messaged you again after I posted that question publicly. You asked me to post publicly, and I did, and then I wasn't answered. And I said, hey, Chris, just messaging again. So it'll be at the top. I know you said you get a ton of messages.
So, and again, we understand that you get a ton of messages. We absolutely understand that. Is there somebody else in our chat room? I can't see it.
Heather.
Heather, do you want to come up? I guess she does.
I'm here.
Oh, she's okay. Oh, hi, Heather. I didn't see you there.
Hi.
Okay.
There's a lot of talk. I didn't really have a chance to say hello.
And this Heather is the other private investigator.
I know who Heather is.
Okay. Heather, would you like to say anything?
Here's her link.
So I spoke with earlier today, and obviously, as you know, Mr. Prophet did message me and ask for a number so he could come in. And I think that it is past due. I think that it's a good thing for Mr. Prophet to address some of the allegations that are being made. I would like to have the opportunity, you know, like I said to him earlier today, it's good for us, Chloe and I, to have access to them, to be able to, when we get this information, instead of having to go around them to other sources to try to get the answers to the
Marcy, that's funny.
to actually be able to come to him for those answers and try to clear them up directly. So I'm glad he's here. I really am. Even though he's
I am too. I'm thrilled. I'm
I'm glad he's here, and I've spoken to him before, and he's been very upset with me before. But once he calms down, I think maybe we can get somewhere. Maybe we can get somewhere.
Okay, so let's address something real quick with your viewers who say I'm drunk and belligerent. No, I'm just a pissed off dad. So let's get that real clear.
Hey, everybody, if any, mods.
So if you want to keep your comments,
Thank you
and that's
for
how your
that.
audience wants to play this game,
No,
then no, I'm not going to clear up anything or turn the chat off. If you want to clear this up, let's get it right. And let's take all the stupid.
Here he goes. He's getting anxious. He's getting worked up. He ain't going to clear up all that truth. By golly, no. If he cleared up all the truth, then he would have to tell the truth, folks.
People out of this equation and answer the deals.
Okay, Chris, hang on. Mods, if anybody says anything rude about any of our guests, I want you to ban them. Kick them out. Okay?
It's like this. If you ain't got nothing factual about me to say, keep your mouth shut.
Well, okay, but Chris, they don't know if it's factual.
Exactly. So that's the best recommendation I can give them.
Well, but they want to ask questions, and let me tell you why.
Questions are one thing, not a statement where I'm belligerent and I'm drunk. Because guess what, folks? I can read the comments that you post.
I know. And I'm telling everybody, if anybody says anything rude, they're booted from.
Oh, wait. Did he not debunk that? I'm belligerent and I'm drunk. I can read the comments. But he didn't say he wasn't.
That mods, if you could boot them. Stacy, could you get Ping over here to help us?
And the other part of this is if it's nothing in regards to Sebastian, I really don't give a shit, people.
No, and I agree, Chris. And I mean, I don't know if you heard, I didn't want to discuss.
Oh, I asked a lot of questions and she wouldn't discuss it. Absolutely.
I think it's semantics at this point.
Okay, Michelle says, I hate when they kiss his butt. Makes me sick. I am so with you on that one. My gosh, I hate when they coddle. I hate when they explain what he means when it sounds really bad. They explain it to where it sounds very positive. The man says what he says. No one needs to explain it. But I think they do it to calm him down so that they can get more out of him. I don't know. It's a guess of mine. But when he's on the other side and they're the ones that are like, you know, explaining what he just said to make him sound better, nuh-uh. That's straight up a game over there. But I think she's trying to keep him calmed down to get more out of him. I don't know. Marcy got to go get her a strong coffee. Oh, I tell you, it just, there's no sense in all of this. It tells you how touchy the man really is. He's been reading chat while he's been on panel talking. Folks, he doesn't let anything get by him. And I'm going to tell you right now, he watches this channel. He reads the chat. And that's okay. because I stand behind everything I say. And it's my opinion. And if Mr. Chris thinks differently, he has an open invitation over here to explain himself. But I will be honest with you, no man would ever talk to me the way he's talking to these ladies right now. No man is ever going to be that rude and disrespectful to me. I was raised better. I was raised to never, ever allow someone, anyone, woman or female, female or male, to ever speak to me with attitude like that if I didn't deserve it. And I don't feel like I deserve it. I'm asking questions, and it's because of their words. But the open invitation is always there for Mr. Chris if he'd like to come speak.
He's been missing for 2 months, and I don't know how his bathroom habits are going to help me find him.
Exactly. Mind you that children with autism do have bladder and bowel movement issues to control themselves. But
wait a minute. His bathroom issues is not going to help find him. It's not important. Mr. Chris agreed. Did you hear him say, I agree? But yet, who's the one that told us that he liked to pee and defecate on himself to the point he left him at school like that? That was this man, guys. The one that thinks that has nothing to do with it. Sorry, I got choked up. But he's the one that brought it out. He's the one that talked about it. And yet we're wrong for even questioning it.
I'm not really worried that people can't read and do their own.
Well, but Chris, let me
read
tell
stuff.
you,
I'm not going to sit here and care about that either.
let me tell you why that was brought up. Okay, it's because of what Seth said. Seth said, and
Yes, you were correct. No, you were correct. You just hit the nail on the head.
Mhm.
You just hit the nail on the head. Seth,
Hold on. Seth said they put him in pull-ups. His son is 15 years old and was put in pull-ups. His father has a problem with that because at his father's house, they were not needed. But here, you're going to hear Mr. Chris take that open invitation and run with it. Listen to how he turns it into being Seth's fault.
has opened his mouth. He has said a lot of things he probably shouldn't. And he needs to learn how to close it because, quite honestly, none of that has anything to do with finding Sebastian.
Right, and you know what? But Chris, let's keep it that way because Seth has said.
My question to him is, does any of that have to do with why he's missing? Is my question.
He is not going to do that anymore, and he hasn't.
Bullshit. Let me explain to you why. That Sunday when I went to that vigil and spoke to Seth very calmly, very respectfully, we were having a good conversation. While everybody stood behind me and was snapping the little pictures and stuff, Heather came up in the conversation. She saw us. It was not an aggressive conversation. It was actually a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But see, it wasn't 3 hours later. Seth was on YouTube on somebody else's show, sitting and he's blaming Katie, my wife, for Sebastian's disappearance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unless you got cold hard facts.
Oh, Mr. Chris. I agree with Seth. I agree wholeheartedly with Seth. Because from what we've been told, you gave her the ultimatum and she made the choice.
Which you don't. Don't open your mouth.
Because all you're doing is making an ass out of yourself because you're assuming.
Say that everybody is grieving and handling the situation differently. I won't comment on if I agree with any of the ways that people are acting at this point. I do think, you know, in the last week, we've been trying to build a bridge. And I know it's difficult and it's not going to be just clean and perfect, but I think if we can all just refocus and try to not focus on the other things people have done that make you angry.
So here, let me explain to y'all something that y'all don't get a chance to see, because unfortunately we're meeting on a very bad circumstance.
Ooh,
Okay, but Seth can
good
contest
question.
So Seth comes to Tennessee. He gets his job in the security force. He wants to be law enforcement. He has had a dream of being law enforcement since I have known him.
Okay.
There was a chance for something that came up, and I called him and said, "Look, I
TJ.
think you should apply for this. I think you'd be great at it," which is the job he currently has.
Okay.
Now, he goes to he gets accepted. He's excited. He calls me and says, "Thank you, man. I really appreciate you helping me. That I have been a supporter and a cheerleader for him this whole time." But y'all don't get to see that, and Seth's not going to tell you that. During the middle of the training, Seth decided one day he wants to call me and tell me he doesn't think he's going to complete it. But I told him, I said, "Look, you're going to sit there and you're going to go back in there and you're going to complete this training because your son thinks you."
Don't forget, it's all Mr. Chris. You know, he takes the glory in the job that Seth has. He is the type of person that cannot do a good deed and just leave it be. It's tit for tat with him. And in my opinion, it's because he's not off the tit yet.
The moon and the sun. So you need to go in there and prove to your son that dreams and goals can be met. I have been very, very supportive of him trying to do these things. I told him on Sunday, I supported him then, I would support him now. But I will not stand by and watch somebody be straight up disrespectful and accuse people and say things that have absolutely no bearing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay, well, again, I just, if I could just.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, I would love for us to refocus and talk about not necessarily the investigation that we can't talk about, but you know, what you know has been done, what you understand about dog tracks, what you understand about the circumstances. You know, I mean, we could go on and on all night, and I know we have a lot of really big feelings that are valid. But I think Heather would agree. We would just really love to redirect this back to Sebastian, because the anger doesn't solve anything.
It's not truly all anger, it's discipline.
No, and I'm not saying that. And I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying at this point it's just
not helping find Sebastian.
Yeah, and it's like an energy vampire, you know, and we're all tired. And I mean, I can't imagine how tired you are. I know how tired I am. So I would love to redirect back to what you know and what you think.
And then I have some questions that I hope you can answer that will help clear things up.
I'll answer questions unless it's something I have been told by law enforcement that I cannot answer. I've said that from day one, and I'm telling you now, it has not changed. So ask your questions.
Did you pass the polygraph?
Yes, I sure did, with flying colors.
And it was TBI that gave it to you?
Oh, guys, just keep in mind, this was before he went on Nancy Grace, where we learned he had not been at any time taking a polygraph test. He was told he was the one that didn't need to. It's hard for this man to tell the truth, folks. His truth is his words he uses to make himself look good. It's absolutely sickening. He straight up, bold-faced, lied. TJ said, I'll give him a polygraph. He might not like my ways, but I'll get the truth. That's funny.
Yes, TBI gave it to me along with another agency.
Okay.
No, that was kept quiet because it's nobody. We kept it all quiet.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's great that you're telling us now.
Right, and you know, Seth knew about it the day on that Tuesday when I took it and passed it. They called and told him that I passed it.
And okay.
Seth said no. That didn't happen. Can't happen. They're not going to call and say that if he didn't ever take one.
Maybe he was told he couldn't say anything.
No, he was told he could say something. They told him so he would try to keep his rhetoric down.
This guy, he cracks me up. He can't say nothing, okay? They told him not to say nothing. And when Trisha says, but he can't say nothing. Oh, no, he can say, they told him he can say something. I call bullshit, dude. You're an idiot. Law enforcement is not going to pick one over the other and say, you can't talk and say things, but you can say everything you want to. Keep the rhetoric up. He can lie and lie and keep right on lying. It's part of who he is, folks.
That's why they told him. And I have the text message where they asked me if they could tell him. And I said, I've listened to y'all from the beginning. I'm listening to you now. So please do what you feel is best.
Okay. So you passed the polygraph.
Just remember, conveniently, we've never seen that text message because, he was told not to show it. He can tell Seth and let Seth tell everybody. So you have to stop and question if he was told to tell Seth, let them tell Seth. And if they did tell Seth he passed a polygraph test, folks, that right there proves 100% that law enforcement is protecting Mr. Chris, because we all know after this was over with, weeks and weeks later, we find out he had never taken a polygraph test ever. So if law enforcement wants to tell Seth he passed one, we know it's a lie. They are protecting him. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is that why law enforcement has not done much of anything? Because that means they would have to actually put handcuffs on this man and his wife. Yes, Holly. In that statement, guys, when I was listening to all of this, that statement, I would love to find out if they told Seth that Chris took one and passed. Because later we learned he had not. So if law enforcement told Seth that, not at the time, Gemini, not like they are now. No. So if they did tell Seth that, then they're lying. That proves they're protecting Mr. Chris.
Flying colors. Let me ask you this. People in chat are asking, did you tear down any posters of Sebastian, you or anyone you know?
That is a straight up no. And I can't believe people would think I would tear down flyers or posters of my missing stepson.
Okay,
Which, another thing which is kind of funny that you bring this up, because some people, and yes, they are pertinent to the investigation, have said that there's a video floating around of me tearing these things down.
Yeah.
If you got it, post it. Because if you ain't got it, shut up.
If I'm not mistaken, law enforcement has that video. It was not put out to the public. That's what I was told, Mr. Chris.
And I mean, I'll say on record from myself, I've never seen that.
And I
Exactly,
also want to
because
say,
it doesn't exist.
I'm sure it doesn't.
and I want to say on record that in my conversation earlier with Chris and Katie, Katie said she had one request of me, and that was that when I do these interviews, that I, at some point in the interview, remind people to hand out the flyers and put them up everywhere.
Please, we're begging. I don't know how to beg you even more. I don't know what it's going to take for America, the world, whoever to understand. We are begging you to hang posters, talk to whomever, spread the words, keep your eyes open. And when you find something, don't wait 2 weeks to make a report.
I agree.
Because let me tell you something, that's what's been going on. Some of the leads that are coming in are 2 and 3 weeks old.
Why do you
Instead of
think
when
that
you
is?
see something, you pick up the phone immediately and you call the cops.
Yeah.
Don't call your best friend
Right.
and say, hey, I think I've seen this kid. Don't call these investigators. No offense, Chloe, Heather. You don't call them first. You don't call Seth. You don't call anybody but law enforcement only, and make your report immediately.
I will say, you know, we've received tips that maybe haven't been called into law enforcement, but we call them in. And we also received tips that have been called into law enforcement, but the person that called the tip in didn't get any feedback when they were told they were going to be called back. And so they were worried that maybe it didn't get looked into enough. So I don't think
For the record,
passing
right.
tips
So
to law
for the record, I think what folks need to understand is y'all don't have all the information that Katie and I and some of the information that Seth has. You don't. And I understand that. And I'm sorry that we can't give you every single thing under the sun. I wish we truly could. But unfortunately we can't.
Right.
But when you do make a
Yep.
report and you give them a name and a number, you tell them the location, you tell them a very detailed description and everything. You don't expect to get a call back from law enforcement, period. Don't. Because I'm sorry, but they don't have the time to stop and answer every single callback when they're looking for missing children, not just ours, but there's so many children out there that are missing.
Right.
So I'm sorry that some of y'all feel that you deserve an answer, but it's not. And I'm sorry, it's just going to sound rude when I say this, but you don't deserve an answer. You'll get the answer.
Okay, guys. For once, I do agree with Mr. Chris. We don't deserve to know what law enforcement knows. Hey, Mrs. Magoo, how you doing? And everybody else that's come in, thank y'all for being here with us while we're going through this. Hey, I'm too honest. Show poodles. But Scotty too hottie, how you doing? It's almost funny, like, isn't it? He loses his shit and I laugh. He makes me angry and all I can do is laugh. Because people buy it. They buy everything he says. But that part he just said, I honestly can't agree. We don't deserve to know everything law enforcement knows. We're here to try to do our best to help law enforcement find these little things. That's what we're here for. We're here for putting his face out, putting his name out there, talking about all these questions we have. That's what we're here for. And the part that cracks me up the most about what he said, I think he's a little pissed now because I think they quit telling him things. Water got a little too hot and they quit telling him things. Just like the judge recused himself from Betty's things. We're glad you're here too, Scotty. Thanks for being here. But I believe things are getting a little too hot. And that is what pisses him off. And that's because of all of us. So, guys, we're doing our job. we're doing what we're supposed to. And I do not feel like I deserve to know every tiny detail. But when you come on YouTube as a mother and a stepfather and spill out your story to us here on YouTube, not to your local news, so that people that live nearby can actually look for your child, but here on YouTube, then yeah, we're going to jump all over that. Especially when your stories don't match, especially when they continue to change, especially when we know exactly what you have said every time you speak. And the truth does not change, but your lies have changed.
When we get the answer, the family gets the answer on a missing boy, not strangers. They're not calling y'all to tell you.
Chris, this is what I have to tell when I talk to law enforcement.
I hope
And
so,
it's
Scotty.
difficult to accept, and I still have trouble with it too. This is the way it is. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. But again, when you ask the public for help, people are going to start looking, and they look at the last place that Sebastian was known to be. And then it just goes from there. And I'm sorry, it shouldn't, but that's how it does. And we can clear a lot up tonight. And I'm so
let's
glad.
do this.
Okay, BW says, Chris, are you frustrated with law enforcement, or do you feel like you're getting adequate information from them?
I'm not upset with law enforcement. I'm gonna tell you right now, the agencies that are involved have thrown every asset that they have at this. What people don't understand, this has actually probably been one of the largest searches for a missing child in Sumner County history, period, and probably in the state with a number of assets. Do I think they're doing everything they can? You bet your sweet hell I am. You can bet on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, I mean, just sort of making everybody in this United States go hand in hand, start on one side of the country and sweep through hand in hand. That's probably about, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, I'm very happy with what they've done. I know there are some other folks that don't feel that way, and I'm sorry because they are not in the know. But you do have to remember one thing. They're not going to expend every single asset, every single minute of the day on one child.
Of course.
You have to keep in mind how many children are missing, and it has to be equally.
Okay. Okay, Michelle said, okay, let me say this real quick, and then we're going to talk about Michelle's comment here. They're not going to spend all their time on just one child's case, right? But they have a detective that is just working on Sebastian's case, folks. He wants you to think they're not going to spend all their time working on Sebastian's case. But in all reality, he's wrong. Okay, Michelle says, but Lolly, have you ever thought that was their plan all along? Everybody here knows how YouTube is. I think instead of it going to LE, they went to the internet to muddle up the investigation away from them. You're exactly right. I agree with you 100% on that. I do. I think their job, and when they had their private investigator all up in everything, I believe he was doing exactly what he was paid to do, and that was to distract away from Katie and Chris. I agree with you on that, Michelle. I'm too honest. I agree with you with wife number 6. Let's listen some more.
All among everybody. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it hurt. It hurt the day that they came in on day 8 and told us that they have to pull back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it ain't nothing. There was more of a gut punch to take than being told that. I mean, it
I can imagine. I mean, that's because you're not expecting them to say that. You're not expecting them to say, yeah, we're going to pull back and put less.
I do expect
yes,
that,
Irene Rose.
I'm also a realistic person.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for them to expend every aspect and every asset that every single second of the day finding Sebastian. That's not realistic.
Yeah,
it's not.
I want to read you a comment, and I like this comment from Brittany Cole. It says, sometimes you have to block out the noise, Chris. The public will do what they do, and that's the truth. A lot of us are just trying to offer help. It's the bad ones that you remember, and not all the much big.
Oh, got the wrong one. Let's go over here. I'm telling you, folks, Us Texas ladies, we don't put up with that. We don't allow men to talk to us the way he talked about Brittany. He was talking to her. And no way. Us Texas girls, we ain't gonna put up with that.
You're a crowd of good people who are not doing this.
And I mean, weeks ago, somebody asked me what I thought, and I had some information from court documents that could have been a lot of quote unquote tea for the internet to have, and I refused to release it because
Court documents on. Let me ask you something. Me, Seth, Katie. Okay.
I refused to release it because number one, I didn't think it would help find Sebastian. Number two, it was a deeply personal thing. And also, yes.
Okay, so
let me finish, and I referred to the Michael Vaughn case, where his parents got completely slaughtered by the public for a very long time, and they didn't do anything to that boy. I do not believe they didn't. Now they have proof, but they just got slaughtered. And people can say without a shadow of a doubt that they just know what somebody did, and they don't. Well, if you know, take it to the police and let's solve this.
Yeah, tell all the truth.
I will say this. There was a little girl that went missing in North Texas. Her daddy had gone hunting. She was at home with her stepmother and her half siblings. She got mad at the stepmom, walked out the door, and she went missing. I jumped into that. I was all over that mama. She did it. That's obvious. Blah, blah, blah. I learned my lesson on that one. I will never jump in and do that again. Because it was a FedEx driver that was passing by, delivering some mail to them. It was a gift. He put her in his truck, took her to his home, did things to her, killed her, and dumped her off into the ditch. So when all of this with Sebastian's case started, I was trying my best to find something positive with Katie, his own mother. But when a mother is on her sixth version of what happened just hours before her child went missing, when there are lights and movement happening in their backyard leading to a waiting car 3 hours before they report him missing, I can't find anything good in that. I can't. I'm not going to coddle. I'm not going to sit here and play nice. I'm not going to go have drinks with you or lunch with you. Because a parent who knows nothing will only tell what actually happened. And that part would never change. A stepfather would never talk to people the way this man is on YouTube talking to people and lying his ass off to make himself look better. It's not how it works for innocent people. And that's my opinion. But no, I did not jump into this and instantly accuse the mother. But when her story changed, I had to question it. And I haven't stopped. 15 months later, I'm still questioning the last time she changed her story. Now they talked on the phone till midnight, and according to the Dateline interview article, she was going to bed at 11. So how did she talk on the phone till midnight but go to bed at 11? It doesn't work that way.
Like Holmes and Watson's out there, since they have their PhDs in criminal justice and forensics and all this, since they've got it, by all means, we welcome you to the case. We welcome you to come in here and show us and show these law enforcement officers that have so many years of experience that they don't know anything. We'd love you to do it.
Yes, Mrs. Magoo, I do. I think Ellie is laughing. Yeah, I do. And I think they should have called FBI, which has already been working with them, but they cannot take the lead until law enforcement in Sumner County hands it to them completely.
Chris, this isn't helping.
I know it's not helping, but this goes back
get the
to
public
what's
on your
being
side.
asked.
Let's get people on your side, and then we can all work together. Because I
That's
know
just the thing. This isn't about sides. This is not about sides.
Exactly. And that's
This is not.
what
This
we're
is
trying
about
to do.
Sebastian.
You know,
it is, but
Okay, if this was about Sebastian, Mr. Chris, then your wife would have talked to the father of her own child. But she won't. If this was about Sebastian, she wouldn't be telling so many different versions of what happened. If this was about Sebastian, you wouldn't be lying your ass off so people think you're innocent when you had not taken a lie detector test at all. I'm sorry, but for this man that we're listening to, this isn't about Sebastian. It's about him and how good he looks in all of this.
I'm Team Sebastian. You know, I was brought in to do one thing.
Same.
okay, guys, let me just say, coming from the other side, you want the public's help. You need the public's help. Let's not insult the public. There are asses out there. And believe me, we fight against them all the time, don't we, Stacey? Constantly. These jerks out there that pull all this crap just to get clicks. You know, we don't have advertising on this channel. We don't ask for money. We do it because we want to help. But it doesn't help.
So can I ask you a question on your show?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked everybody else when we went on their shows. So I'm on your show and I'm sure it is blown up. So the more people that come on, the more money the show makes.
He's such an ass. Such an ass. We go to listen because you're the stepfather. We go to listen to what lie you're going to tell next.
No, I make no money.
We don't make money. We're not
We make
monetized.
zero money.
It's not monetized.
It's not a monetary show.
No, they don't monetize.
No.
We do not monetize. We do not monetize. It costs me money to do this.
Yeah, and
The reason why I asked
so I
that,
will go on.
It's completely free,
Well,
and the website is as well.
No
right,
advertising.
so the reason why I'm asking that question, okay,
Mhm.
is because if
But
they
he
were
didn't
true
ask
to what they say in
question.
their heart, especially those, and they
He
know what I'm
made a
talking about, the
statement.
clickers,
Yeah.
the shows that make this money.
Yeah.
I would love for you to make a public announcement for every dollar you've made. If you truly do this for the goodness of your heart, every dollar that you have made, you should donate it to the cause, not to your personal gain.
Well, yeah, we don't, like I
But-
said, we make zero.
How much does Clue and Cletus donate? They won't even show you the damn receipts from the billboards they did. How much does Queen Bee over there donate? No one deserves to even ask her to show any receipts. What about Granny's watching? How about Barbecue Lady? She showed fake receipts and she has sent emails as someone else. She's recorded your wife without your wife knowing it. How much have they sent? Is my question. I've never, ever once heard this man tell those people that he sits on panels with that they need to donate a portion of what is made. And let me tell you, my friends, the difference. The difference is they stroke his ego. I wouldn't. Yeah, the cookbooks that barbecue lady reminds everybody, you better be careful what you say about me because I have your address. No one wants to buy anything from her.
It costs us money.
And I appreciate it and I respect that. Thank y'all ladies for that. I will give you that.
So, but no, I understand what you're saying. But again, it's just like with, Nancy Grace or with news media, they report the news. Unfortunately, this is social media. And I agree. There's people out there, I'm not going to even say their names, but they know who they are. They do this crap to get clickbait so they can make more money, and it's disgusting. Absolutely.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
And I want to add something to that. Like I told Chris earlier, everybody that's involved in this case is under a microscope. I've been ripped to shreds.
Yes, Marcy. Exactly. I do this as a tiny bit of income. I do this, and what money I make pays my storage so that I don't lose everything I have. Items that belong to my son that passed away are the most important items to me, but I have no place to keep them all here where I'm at. This is like a part-time job for me. But it doesn't matter to him. All of us on this side should have to donate. But on the other side, they stroke his ego. They're his pals, his buddies, because they explain to everybody why he says the things he says over there. They explain it in a way that it sounds wonderful. Guys, I wouldn't even make 2,000 in 1 year. Trust me. Trust me. Nowhere close to what Queen Bee made. Exactly. Thank you for putting that, Marcy. Yes, it is. But he don't care. Oh, no. See, Texas Plain Jane, I stress all the time over my storage building. I really do. And the storage company sold to a new place, and I was in a panic. I was afraid that things would change, it would go up, something would happen. But no, they worked with me really well, understood my situation. I gave them my pay date from this YouTube, and they made that my due date. So I could breathe a little bit. My channel is finally starting to make some money, and it is so nice. And it's all because of you guys. And that's why I say I don't know that y'all realize how much it does make me so appreciative. Yeah, brown eye girl. Yeah, I'm not even close to 1,000, y'all. Like I say, I get enough to pay my storage. Oh, yes, Scotty. Everything I have is in storage except for some clothes and personal items that I need here while I'm staying with my son. Right, brown eyes? Yeah, that would be nice. All my worries would be over. But even when I wasn't making enough to help pay my storage, I was still on here. Still here talking about Sebastian because that's what I want to do. I'm too honest. Look how sweet you are. Thank you for doing that. Guys, if y'all were gifted a membership from my beautiful friend here, I'm too honest for this. Please tell her thank you. That is so gracious and so, so kind. I love you for that. Thank you. And welcome to our new lollipop.
Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around.
Thank you for that. I'm too honest. You're so sweet. But anyways, let's get back to listening to this mumble jumbo.
They've been ripped to shreds. Seth has been ripped to shreds. I mean, like, the public gets a hold of somebody in the spotlight and they dig into them and they pull up anything that they can about them. And some of it's true and some of it's not. It doesn't help find Sebastian. And that's where we all need to get the same page and regroup and just make the decision right here, right now, to ignore the rumors, to clear up misinformation, and just to get on
That's
track
sweet,
so that we
Lolo.
can start
Thank
trying to find
you.
Sebastian.
Now,
Right. If we can keep parties involved in this investigation focused on that and staying off of YouTube and other aspects of social media and playing the game.
Well, wait a minute. Who's the one that brought it to social media and played the game to begin with? He crossed the start line first on the game. He made the first move. We're playing his game, folks. The game he and his wife started. Because they're the ones that started this as playing a game. And it backfired. And he's behind in the game. And he's pissed. Because most all of us have him figured out.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sure we would all benefit greatly, and this would completely change narratives and the direction, and it would straight focus completely on Sebastian.
Well, let's do this. This podcast or Websluething podcast that we're on right now, we can make a pact right now.
Okay, whoa. Back it up, Mr. Chris. Please explain to me how you saying the most disgusting, vile things I've ever heard a man say to another woman while you're talking about Brittany J. Her eating a whole turkey and choking on a chicken bone and helping her family. How does that help find Sebastian? Her getting effed. How does that help find Sebastian? All the other nasty, trashy stuff that comes flowing out of your mouth so easily. Please explain to us, how does that help find Sebastian? It doesn't. Yeah, the chicken bone. I'm telling you, how do you eat a turkey and choke on a damn chicken bone? He's stupid.
That's what we're doing right here, right
But here's the other thing. I appreciate you want to make that pact, but you know exactly who I'm referring to. That needs to be done publicly as well then.
well, all we can do is what we can do here tonight. So, but Chris, there's a couple of questions, and then there is somebody. Well, there is somebody that wants to come on the panel, and I don't know if you want them on here, but let me answer these questions first, okay? Everybody wants to know, what do you think happened to Sebastian? What do you think happened?
I don't know.
Don't know.
For the love of God, I wish I had an answer. I wished we had something to go off of.
So Chris, I asked Seth this a few weeks ago, and so just
the funny part is we do have something to go off, and it's called the flashlight video that was not supposed to be released to the public. The police were going to hold on to that as their smoking gun. However, they've not used it, and I question why. Hang on, I think I took it down. Hang tight. Hold on. We're going to pause, because I got something funny to show y'all. So, are you talking about like this? Like that? Is that what you're talking about? Because I quite agree with you 100%. I grandkids and I had just watched the Flintstone movie. And that was my first thought to that. And I did that. I couldn't help it. Sorry. But yeah. Be prepared because Seth is about to come up. Lolo, I hope they're building a case. I hope they are. And what's taken so long? I think there's so many players involved. But my thing is, start with player number 1, his mother, and player number 2, his stepfather. And all the dominoes will fall from there. Yeah, that is funny, isn't it, Scott? I couldn't help it. It was just too much. Looky here. I'm too honest says, I have 5 brothers. And if you'd spoke like that in front of me, holy crap, you'd lose. Yeah, I mean, come on. You just don't talk like that. They do look like twins. Okay, be ready because Seth comes on. And notice how calm Seth is and how angry Mr. Chris gets.
No thought in your gut. Spit it out. Doesn't matter if it sounds completely off the wall. What is your knee-jerk reaction to what happened?
Sebastian walked out of the house.
I agree, Patty.
Stepped off the porch and has vanished into thin air.
Vanished into thin air.
That is what I think, because that is what I know.
He knows that, folks. He knows without a shadow of a doubt Sebastian walked onto that front porch and vanished into thin air. He knows that. He believes that because he knows that. The man who was in Memphis for all those months and now comes out and says, actually, I was in Mississippi. We're supposed to believe, right? He's lied to us all these years about where he actually was. Finally comes clean 15 months later and says, I was in Mississippi, not Memphis. We're supposed to believe that he walked onto his front porch and vanished into thin air. Folks, that might be a tiny bit believable had the neighbor's camera across the street actually showed their front door open. And guess what? That door never opened. No one was seen walking anywhere in front of their home. No one stood on their front porch at all. Once again, he's lying. But my question is, how does he know? He's going to tell us that's because I know. That's what I know.
But what do you mean you know?
I've been part of the investigation since day 1. Okay. And if anybody else out there that's got some information in regards to where Sebastian has went, because last time I checked, there's not one shred of evidence.
You know he walked off the porch is what I'm asking.
I'm telling you, unless this kid is just in the thin air on my front porch, he sure had to go somewhere, so he had to walk off the front porch. Now, if you're trying to insinuate somebody was in my house or somebody's taking a child outside of my house,
no,
say
I'm
that.
not insinuating anything. I'm asking, do you know that he walked out your front door? Do you know
that he went out the front door
or any door?
Is that what you're asking?
Do you know?
Yeah, that's what we're asking.
Okay, thank you. I just need a confirmation. I don't play games here.
My God.
So just to make this real crystal clear, there's a back door. Every door in the house when Katie got up that morning was locked.
Okay.
Since it's already out there, there's a keypad on the front door. You don't need a key to unlock and lock my front door.
Mm-hmm.
But you need a key to lock every other door. And every other door was locked, folks.
So did Katie do that?
Do what?
Can someone tell me how that proves Sebastian went out the front door? To me, that says Katie was the one that made sure all the doors were locked before she went to bed. If she went to bed, she might have locked all the doors after she came back in the back door. That proves nothing, Mr. Chris. Nothing. You think they took him out the window? I think he was carried out that back door. I think she was carrying him, met up with Chris. He took him from her and put him in that car. That's what I believe. But hey, Mr. Chris knows, right? We're supposed to believe the liar.
Katie, make sure all the other doors were locked. And could Sebastian just walk out? Could he have walked out the front door?
Yes.
Every door was locked.
So what
Yes,
you're saying is that the only
blonde.
possibility is the front door. Is that what you're saying?
I am saying the most conceivable way possible that this makes sense is that he walked out the front door.
Okay.
That's what
Only
I'm saying.
possibility.
Okay.
Did he walk out without his shoes on? Is that what you believe?
My statement earlier is real simple. Sebastian walked out of the house not wearing any shoes.
Could he have been running?
Oh, wait a minute. In the new article, it does say he left home with or without shoes. He's changed his story once again, with or without shoes. Sorry about my dogs. Oh my gosh, they're howling now. And the bad part is, I don't think y'all can hear, but all three of the little puppies have learned to bark. And they're down there just a chirping.
And scared of something.
Don't know. He could. It's a young boy. It's dark outside.
Gray, I just sent you the Facebook link, so jump on up. Okay, Gray? I just sent it to your Facebook. So he'll be jumping on here shortly. Stacy, can you keep an eye out, because I can't see because of my stupid computer.
Hey, in the meantime,
Yes,
I would
Angela,
like to, since
yes.
Chris is here and this has become
I
very public,
agree.
I would like to mention something that we spoke about earlier. Chris and Katie did actually confirm that the clothes that he was wearing at Texas Roadhouse that night were accounted for. And I believe they were the articles
Agreed.
of clothing that were used for the scent dog. Am I correct when I say that, Chris?
Yes, those clothes are in the possession of law enforcement.
Great. And so do we know what Sebastian was wearing when he left?
From the house that night?
Yes.
The description is still the same. It hasn't changed from 60 days ago. However, I will say this much. Some of the information that's on some of these posters and flyers. We have actually requested to have some of that changed, but it hasn't happened. So I'll walk you through what the description actually should be.
I will,
Sebastian
Angela.
was wearing long
I
black
will.
pants. Think of the 1970s style Adidas style
Look
pants.
at Marcy.
Right down the side. That style of pants on. He had a long sleeve shirt, not a
Okay.
sweatshirt, not a hoodie. A
Oh,
long
wait,
sleeve
whoa,
shirt.
whoa, whoa,
On the front of
whoa.
that shirt is probably
Whoa. Wait a minute. He did have on a short sleeve shirt at Texas Roadhouse, guys. Listen very, very, very close. At Texas Roadhouse. We all saw with our own eyes. He had on a short sleeve t-shirt. The last time he was seen, he was wearing a long sleeve t-shirt. Not a sweatshirt and not a hoodie. Did everybody hear that? So tell me, when did he put a hoodie on? Because the person taking out the trash 15 minutes after they got home was wearing a black hoodie. His mother, however, we all saw with our own eyes at Texas Roadhouse, had a black jacket on with a hoodie. So let's think about that a little bit. I believe Katie was the one that took out the trash because Sebastian walks just like Katie. Mr. Chris agreed with that. We heard that. We've already talked about that. Chris just tells us, not a hoodie. Just a long sleeve black t-shirt.
One of three depictions: Halloween, Star Wars, or Minecraft.
Okay.
Chris, I know that Sebastian didn't have very many pairs of shoes because his feet were growing
Yes,
and
I'm
getting
too
tossed
honest.
out pretty quickly after he grew out of them. But is there a reason we can't confirm which shirt if it's just one of three?
I didn't say one of three. I said one of three depictions on a shirt.
Okay, so that's
So
three
there's-
different shirts, right?
Say again. I'm sorry.
So I don't know if we're saying the same thing or something different, but are you saying there's three different possible shirts he was wearing? Like he had three different black long sleeve shirts. One had Halloween on it. One had Minecraft
I'm
on it.
telling
One
you,
had Star
no,
Wars.
it's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I said he had a long sleeve black shirt on, and on that shirt had one of three depictions. I didn't say he had three. I didn't say anything. I just said one.
Okay.
Right, but I'm just confused by how have you not been able to identify which of those three depictions is
Sadly,
missing?
I question,
Can I
I
ask you a quick
wonder.
question?
Yeah.
Can you tell me every single shirt in your closet right now and everything that's on
No,
your shirt?
but if I had
Okay,
to
then-
choose between
right,
three
wait a
of
minute.
them, if
Wait,
I
hold on a minute.
I can tell you this. When my children were at home, even when they were teenagers, I could go through their closet and tell you what shirt was missing because I'm the one that did their laundry. I'm the one that did the ironing. Good night. I'm too honest. Love you so much. Thank you for being here and thank you for your gifting tonight. I appreciate you. But have y'all ever heard the question asked, how many of those three characters, how many shirts does he have of each of those characters? That would be my question.
Three of them I could.
You're saying three of them. But I'm
Well,
telling
you
you,
listed three things. I'm just confused.
I listed what could possibly be on the shirt.
Okay, can I jump in and try to interpret a little bit here? Okay, so are you saying that all three of those shirts are not accounted for, or are you saying you don't remember which depiction it was that was on that shirt? Does that make sense? Is that a little bit clearer?
Say it one more time, you broke up.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
She
so
didn't
are you
break
saying
up.
that
He had to think.
you don't remember what the depiction was? It was one of those three things, or are you saying there are three different shirts with those depictions and all three of those shirts are unaccounted for?
I'm not saying he had three shirts with three different depictions on them. That's not what I said. I'm telling you, I don't know what exactly was on the front of the shirt.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Okay, so
Sebastian,
That's exactly what he said, folks. That's exactly what he said. It was one of the three shirts, and he named them off. I'm telling you, he gets confused because it's a lie.
clothes mostly consist of, if it has a picture on it, one of the three things. Those are his three favorite things.
Okay,
Halloween,
so what you're saying is he has,
Minecraft.
multiple Minecraft shirts, multiple Star Wars shirts, multiple Halloween shirts. So it's
Here we
likely
go.
he had
Listen.
a shirt that had one of those things on, but there's not just three of those shirts.
I'm telling you that he had a long sleeve shirt on with one of the three depictions on it. That's it.
okay,
I'm not
well,
telling you any more shirts. I'm not telling.
He can't answer it, guys. He cannot answer because he doesn't know. All he had to say is, I'm not sure. Mom said it was one of these three. That right there would have been sufficient. But not for Mr. Chris. He has to go into so many details. He gets himself caught in a lie.
So
I'm not
I know what you're
trying to-
asking.
I'm just trying to understand.
I understand that, but you're asking me if he had three different long sleeve shirts with three different depictions on it. And
No, I
I'm
think I
telling
understand
you,
what you're explaining. Like, so Sebastian had multiple shirts that had a Minecraft graphic on it. Sebastian had multiple shirts that had Halloween. Sebastian had multiple shirts that had Star Wars. I guess maybe several of them were long sleeve and black. So you
so,
can't.
so here, let's just make this very simple.
Okay.
He had a long sleeve black shirt on with a picture on the front of it. There you go.
He
And
cannot
that obviously is what you got from Katie, correct?
He doesn't know.
Yes.
Everybody, Gray Hughes is here, and people are saying, why is Gray here? I will tell you.
There you go. All of that. And it boiled down to the fact that that's what Mom said. Why? Why is it that he has to go into so many tiny little minute details. And when he gets questioned on it, it fumbles up. Exactly. He's full of BS. Yes, exactly. Oh, it's ridiculous. It makes him look bad. And when we call that out, we become bad. Oh, Angela, I agree with you. I can't stand him either. But that's my opinion.
I consider Gray someone that I like. Gray helped me in the beginning. When I started this, he was very kind to me. I know it's a shock, but he was very sweet. I asked, he knows I'm kidding him. And I asked Chris, is it okay if Gray Hughes comes up? And Chris said yes. So Gray, I'm going to turn it over to you now, please, sir.
That's it.
Yeah, I just want to say
question.
I've talked to Chris, and
Why doesn't
the way
Katie
he's sounding right now
know?
is exactly how I think I would sound, or anybody else would sound, given the attacks being leveled. When I talked to him on the phone, we talked on the phone, we messaged back and forth, but we talked for about like an hour one time, and literally went over detail by detail on where the light video was taken. The flashlights. Exactly where that was filmed. We went over where the dog sent it, and I'm getting him the map, and he would show me the route and everything. And it was like, to me, he seems like somebody who's literally out there trying to figure something out. I know my opinion isn't like all the rest of the people out there. I mean, I've never seen anything like this, but it kind of reminds me of like remember
Angela.
Chloe, was it Chloe? Yeah, Chloe Smith in Australia. The two parents that were sitting there and they just didn't look quite right. And everybody blamed them for the abduction out of a tent, and it turns out it was literally somebody abducted the child out of the tent.
Right.
There's just so many cases like this, and all I'm saying is when I've talked to Chris Proudfoot, I've never seen anything that he said in any of the interviews where I'm like, wow, this guy, wow, he must have something to do with it.
Yeah, right.
I actually look at him and think, man, I would feel the same way if from day one. The entire community.
You're right,
hated
Michelle.
me, and I never got the same love that Seth got. Seth, I absolutely admired by everybody like he was God or something.
Let me explain why. And I agree. I think that's exactly how you would sound, Gray. There's no question. But let me explain why. Okay. Again, social media is here to stay. We need to learn this. When anybody comes on and they are aggressive and insulting, it blows up like wildfire. And you're asking public for help, but you are condemning the public because of a handful of jerks.
Child.
And that causes problems. I haven't
For the
heard.
record, ma'am, I have not in the past gone onto a show and been a jerk and ridiculed the public and said a bunch of hateful things and inappropriate things. I have not done that. So
but now he has. He can't say those words anymore. This right here was the worst he had ever been. He can't say those words anymore. If he does, I got zip drives to prove him wrong.
sorry that folks are upset that day one, Katie and I were not on TV or on YouTube expressing everything. Well, you say that, but as you said, social media is here to stay. So with that being in mind, you're one, and there are millions out there that think otherwise.
I would never expect you to come on.
I think the way he was just talking a minute ago, to me, it sounded normal, given the fact that the 90% of the chat is just trashing him.
No, that's not true. That is not true. We are kicking people out.
I can see it right now. No, I know you're kicking him out, but I keep seeing comment after comment after comment after comment that are really suspicious. Like,
yeah, great. Just close the chat. I'm not
yeah,
even.
like you had somebody in the chat that literally asked the question: was Katie arrested at 19 for an incident? Like, I'm sorry, but once again, this goes right back to none of that has anything to do with Sebastian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can agree with that. What happened prior to Sebastian being born is no one's business. Although the other side is the one that's bringing all of that out, not us, because it's not pertinent to Sebastian.
I'm not trying to create anything. I just want to say that I absolutely understand how he's feeling, and I know out there they go, "Oh, look, he's soothing Chris's ego." Listen. I've talked to him late night on the phone. He's just a normal dude trying to figure something out. That's how he sounds like. Now he's on here with. I've seen him on shows. Remember at the beginning, him and his wife would go on shows, and they were totally calm, talking, and they were normal. But everybody dissected every single word that they said, and everybody came up with a negative meaning for every single.
Well, let me tell you what happened.
That's because they lie. That's because they lie. The only reason we're dissecting every word is because nothing stays the same with Mr. Chris or his wife. That's the reason.
I can explain. Let me tell you. Chris, when you went on and talked about hitting Sebastian with a belt and kind of, just chuckling about it and how the social services or child protective services came to your door and apologized to you, that got people upset. It got people.
But right, let's clear that real quick.
Okay.
That needs to be cleared up. Because what was said and what people heard are two totally different things.
I heard you say you hit.
Guys, we heard it all wrong, okay? This doesn't help find Sebastian. Him clearing up his name does nothing to help find Sebastian. The words he said is what we heard. But he is going to clear it up because what was said is not what was heard. It's our fault. Brown-eyed girl. I think we all do. Yuck. Yes, Marcy, we all have lying ears, okay? So he's fixing to clear up what we heard, okay? But once again, this is not about Sebastian. This is about him. We go back to it all being about him and how he looks. But the fact is, you hit Sebastian with the belt. That was very crystal clear. A CPS worker came to your home. That was very crystal clear. It's now very crystal clear to us that there had been a total of 5 CPS cases in that home against you and your wife. That's very crystal clear. All of those were against Sebastian. Something that happened against Sebastian. He was crying out for help, and your family member, Mr. Chris, that worked at the CPS office, helped keep that under wraps because mommy wants your daughter. That's crystal clear to all of us. But hey, let's listen to his excuse, is what I would call it.
With a belt.
Okay, so let me finish, because that's the problem. When I go to make the statement, people want to interrupt and try to say, well, this and that. No, you wanted the answer. I'm giving you the answer. Now, when I answered that question, I told people Sebastian got a spanking. He got 1 lick on his butt outside of his clothes. If somebody can tell me how that's abuse to a child, explain to me.
Can you confirm when that happened?
I don't. That was years ago.
I got spanked by a belt and wouldn't spit by my mom for years.
So, but let's not sidetrack.
Years ago, but he said he was 15. Okay. How does that help? Once again, more lies. That was years ago. Got to make it sound good for Mr. Chris, right? Because we don't want it brought up yet, because at this time, all of the truth had not been learned.
Let's not sidetrack. Let's stay on board. Okay. So the question about the CPS thing that came up to play that everybody wants to tie to this belt is not what it was.
Okay.
Well, I think it was confusing because when you initially talked about it, you referred to him as an embarrassed 15-year-old. So
Yes, you did.
like it was years ago.
We thought it was like right recently.
Well, instead of asking for clarification,
Let's clear it up.
so as it stands, Sebastian went to school one day. He made a statement to a teacher.
Excuse me. I just want to double check what my ears are hearing as to what I think he's saying, or should I say not saying, when they said you made the comment he was an embarrassed 15-year-old. So that means he would have been 15 when he got whipped with the belt. And they're asking him, is that correct? Well, here, let's go back here. Mr. Chris can't answer that because it would make him look bad. He's not going to answer that question because he got caught.
The teacher reports it to CPS. CPS comes to the house. That case has nothing to do with Sebastian getting spanked. That had everything to do with Sebastian didn't like being in trouble. So he thought by reporting.
What would the child be in trouble for? Because what my ears heard, Mr. Chris, was that you asked Sebastian, where's your belt? He told you it's in my room. You said, Mr. Chris, go get it. He did. Whack. He got a whipping. I'm not sure how anyone can misconstrue and not actually hear what you're saying when you say the exact words. How is he in trouble when you ask him a question and he told you the truth? You told him to do something and he went and did it. And then you spanked him. How's he in trouble? He already got a consequence for not having a belt on. That's what my ears hear. But according to him, I'm not hearing correctly.
Into a teacher. They were going to come to the house and they're going to take me out of the house and do this and do that. That is what the CPS case was about. And yes, I laughed at it because when I explained to Sebastian, very detailed, what happened, he thought it was a joke. When the CPS lady shows up and looks at him and says, Sebastian, you can't false report. That will get people in trouble and you can get in trouble. And then she explained to him what happens.
What did he say you did to him?
Can I ask you, what does that have to do with the price of eggs in China when it comes to the disappearance of Sebastian?
Because I'll tell you why.
Well, let's talk about the price of the eggs in China. We know what that price is. And, you know, it's a little concerning, Mr. Chris. It is. It's really concerning about the price of the eggs in China. However, it's more concerning to all of us that you whipped a 15-year-old boy only because he didn't put a belt on. And then turned it around and made it all on him. That's more concerning than the price of the eggs in China.
Because you're wondering why people are coming at you. And
yes, because
he was in your home last. That was the last place he was seen.
Yes,
so when we hear these things, it's like, okay, let's just clear it up and see what happened. Because I'll tell you why. Because people, I'm not saying me, but I've seen people say, hey, he was hitting his child. He reported it to his teacher. Did something happen? Was there an explosive incident that happened?
No, absolutely nothing of that nature.
I'll say it. It is me. This is me, Loretta Christmas, talking to you. I am saying it, Mr. Chris. You made the victim as the bad person. That proves to everyone exactly who you are. We learned that very early on, Mr. Chris, and our ears are not lying to us. Trust me. We're grown adults. We know what we hear. We don't create lies over here. We go off of your words. So yeah, Mr. Chris, I'm not making excuses. I'm not saying I don't ask questions about that because I have several questions about that.
Sure. Okay. And for people to not understand, when you discipline a child, there's a difference in discipline and abuse. There truly is a difference.
But I think hitting anybody with a belt is abuse. I'm sorry, I do. And a lot of people agree with me, and that's the problem.
And
so
guess what? That's the great thing. That's the great thing about having your opinion.
Yes.
That's an opinion. That's not a fact. That's opinion.
Okay. I think a belt is,
in my opinion, the reason for the belt whipping was unjustified. In my opinion, you had to make a statement to your 15-year-old stepson. You had to show who was in control of your home at all times. That is my opinion.
Abuse, but that's my, again,
Well, if I was leaving bruises and marks on a child, that's abuse. That would be considered abuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
agree.
by definition, that's weird.
I
That's what I'm
agree.
trying to get you to understand.
CPS
You
failed.
can say your opinion, and that is fine, but you have to back it up and say, what I'm stating is just an opinion. There's no fact to it. When you don't say that, you leave it.
Mr. Chris, your words are my receipt. My opinion is based off of your words that you say, and that pisses the hell out of you. But hey, I have the right to have my opinion. Just like Betty. Just saying.
Open to interpretation for a lot of people to take it and run with it. That was a lot of the problems with this.
And there will be people, I can get people from CPS that will say getting a child with a belt is an abuse. But here's the thing, you're right. That doesn't have anything to do necessarily with Sebastian and his disappearance. But what it does is it creates a narrative in people's minds that we need to clear up and change, Chris. We need to clear it up and change it. Okay? So let's do that. Let's
Exactly. That's
okay.
it, Cecilia.
If, now, you did go on Nancy Grace and say that CPS has never been called. And
No, that's not. No.
Here we
Okay,
go
that's what I heard.
again. Let's hear what our ears
What
didn't hear
did you say?
correctly.
She asked the question about the situation, and she asked me if I had ever had CPS called on me, I believe is what the question was. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't exactly know what the question was without hearing it again. So I'm not going to answer you with something without having it in front of me.
Okay, I'm that.
Here we go again. Our ears were not hearing correctly, but he's not going to go there, right? He can't remember his lies.
Fair. That's very fair. Very fair. And so let's move on. Okay. So nothing came of that from you hitting him with a belt. Has there ever been any, and people are going to ask, has there ever been any violence in your home as far as Sebastian is concerned?
No.
Okay. Now Gray asked, why is Seth being treated so different? Because of how Chris came on and became so angry and did what you did tonight, Chris. You've done this before. And I think that's why, and Seth didn't. And I think that's the difference.
Right, because I don't feed out of people's hands. I don't feed into what people think.
He don't feed into what people think, but he goes on a channel that absolutely cannot stand Brittany J and says the most vile and disgusting words we've ever heard in our life. But he don't feed off of people, folks. He don't. Well, guess what? Seth doesn't feed off of anyone but his son. He has his emotions because his son is missing. And he don't give a damn about other people. He wants his son.
And once again, that's the difference.
But how about just thank you to the people that want to help you?
Okay, well, that's simple. There's a difference in me saying thank you to everyone, which if you go back and listen to every single interview I have done, I have told everybody, thank you for everything that you have done. There's not enough thank you in this world. We can't begin to describe how much we appreciate it. I have said this.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to one video and show me where I have it. I've also said that our family prays for everybody else, and we love you all, regardless of what you think. But you know what? Once again, yeah.
Y'all, how sweet. He loves Brittany J. No matter what we think. He loves everyone. He loves Brittany J. After the nasty, vile words he said about her, he loves her. I can't with this man, y'all. Come on.
His first interview, you gotta admit, his first few interviews were really calm. The one on, I can't remember the names of their channels, but like, he was on multiple channels, calmly talking. Both of them were. And yet the public was already angry with him before he became angry on a show, because that was definitely later. You got to admit, like his first 3 or 4, both of them.
And I can tell you why, because of He said he hit Sebastian with a belt. That made people
Which
angry.
interview? Which interview was that?
It was the very first one I heard. With
Okay.
I can't remember.
Smiley stories. I
Yes,
can try
yes.
to pull up a transcript at some point.
Yes, it was on the Smiley story, yes.
Okay,
But
yeah, but I mean, but here's the thing, there is a perception. See, look at,
There you
when I
go.
was growing up, I just want to say this. When I was growing up, my mom spanking me with a belt, wooden spoon, everything, and she was the greatest mom I've ever. I mean, like, just awesome. I didn't ever feel like it was abuse. Things have changed though over time. Like nowadays, it's considered abuse, and maybe that's sort of is affecting how our society has changed quite a bit. But it's like, but the thing is it used to be totally normal, and it is still sort of normal in some families. As long, it's like you're not sitting there just wailing away for how, like creating the bruises, like Chris was saying. It's just sort of, I mean, I think it's sort of normal for a lot of people in society. It might not be for some people, but I think, I don't know. I think if you took a poll and people were off, not in this particular chat right here, it wouldn't be as high as you might think. It's not gonna be 99% of the people. It'd be like 50-50 on whether or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a little bit anecdotal.
But once again,
could we talk about the
love
thud that
wins.
Katie heard?
Yes, that's a good one. Let's talk about that. And I apologize. I had your name spelled wrong. Everybody that knows me, Chris, knows I'm the worst speller in the world. And I thought I put Proudfoot and I didn't.
about spelling.
So I apologize.
Speller either, so.
So I do apologize for that, sir. Yeah.
I put proud food one time when I wrote it.
Yeah, I've been called Bradford, Proud Food, Brown Foot, all kinds of
I'm
stuff.
so sorry.
I thought I put Proudfoot. Let's talk about the thud. I want to know about that. Chris, please tell us.
Star Child.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, tell us the whole story. What did Katie tell you about the thud? What is the story behind that?
If Katie's there, maybe she could tell us.
Does she want to come on?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
She don't want to
Okay,
come
that's
on.
absolutely fine.
Because it's like there's people, it's enough as it is. I'm not
Enough.
putting her through this.
Poor,
I'm sure that right there is going to cause a big stir. It's like,
poor Katie. Guys, when I say this, I mean this 100%. I feel bad for Katie. My heart is sad for her. And I'll tell you why. Because I honestly believe that she knows where her son is. She made a choice that was not positive for her son. And I say that since I have found out there were CPS cases against her because she did not change situations within that home. She allowed things to continue. And therefore, my opinion on Katie Proudfoot has changed. But I also say this, as a mother who doesn't have her son and has no choice as to where he is, I had to bury him. If Katie knows that she cannot see her child and she has any decency or feelings towards her child, deep down inside, there's got to be hurt, terrified, whatever it is. But that is something that Katie made that decision, and she will have to live with the rest of her life. That's my opinion, folks. I understand she's been through a lot. But a mother who won't stand up and speak for her child and beat doors down and hand out flyers on the street corner or whatever it is at the grocery store, anything, instead of going on vacations, I would not say a word about that.
I'm controlling. No, I'm not controlling. I'm a husband who protects his wife.
Well, you will only get polite questions here.
Let's go back to the Sebastian deal.
Okay.
Wait. Let's go back to him protecting his wife too, guys. Let's say, I wonder how much protecting Katie he was doing when he was flirting with the woman at Texas Roadhouse, the waitress that told us all about that. And the woman who said that she met him on a dating website. Folks, I saw him on a dating website with my very own eyes. And that was just shortly after Sebastian had gone missing. And I heard that rumor. I saw him, his profile. My eyes saw that. Not my ears misunderstanding something. My eyes saw it. He was there. This woman said she went out with him and he lost his wife and his son in a car wreck or something. I don't remember the whole story. But the whole time, Katie was very much still alive. His dating profile had been there for a little while before Sebastian had gone missing. How was he protecting his wife then?
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Katie reported she heard a thud. That's it.
But didn't she
knock it
ask?
off and
No,
go to
I've
bed.
seen different reports. She heard a thud. She said, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you need to go to bed. I've seen other reports that Sebastian responded back to her. If he did respond back to her, do you know what he said?
Yeah, he replied, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I mean,
No, I mean, we're clearing things up.
right.
That's all this is. Let's just clear it up, you know?
There was a noise. Katie heard it. She responded. Sebastian answered.
Okay, and
Yeah.
see, people out there, they want to help, and it feels like that you just are like, that pissed you off that we even asked that.
Bingo.
No, what pisses me off is when the statement is out there. There was a thud. She asked him what, he responded back and moving on.
And around what time was that?
Wow, that was very detailed. Did my ears hear that correctly? I want to make sure my ears heard that he skipped around on all that because he had no clue. He has no clue. He doesn't pay attention and he don't care about the details of those moments before this young man went missing. He don't care.
I'm not going to give you details as far as.
I mean, Katie gave details, but
But, well, guess what? That is Katie. I'm not giving you those.
There it
details.
is. Yes.
No, she gave details
Marcy.
publicly.
Yes.
That is fine.
Okay.
Katie can give you that. I am not giving you that information. I will tell you this. It was between the time we were on the phone to the time we got off the phone. That's what I'll give you. That's it.
So the question now becomes, what is that actual time? Because you're talking to Katie till midnight, but she said she was studying at one time. She said she fell asleep around 10:30 on the couch. And now she's gone to bed at 11, but y'all talked all the way to midnight. Are my ears not hearing what's being said, folks? Because none of that makes any sense. None of it makes any sense whatsoever.
Has Sebastian ever left the house barefoot that you know of?
Has Sebastian gone outside of the house barefooted just before as he ran off? No.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's how you were asking it, but
no, I'm glad
that's an answer.
That's perfect. No, that's great. And again, I swear to you, Chris, we're not trying to be hostile. In fact, I've spoken on this live channel before and said, if Chris ever came here, we would treat him with total respect and honesty. And I really am trying to help because I want people to get behind you and Katie, Chris, because I want people to help find Sebastian. And it's just such a bizarre thing. I mean,
the bizarre case, yes, it very much so.
I have no idea.
And so
Angela.
Sebastian leaves, but he's not on anybody's camera. Is that what the police have said? Or are you allowed to say?
I can't go into details on that, but here's what I will tell you that's public. Our subdivision is very dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's so dark that we actually could see the man walking his dog. That's how dark their subdivision is. Y'all remember that? That ring camera that caught the man down the road walking his dog? That's how dark it is. It was a full moon. Those houses have floodlights on them. There's all kinds of solar lights. That's how dark that neighborhood is. They want you to think it was so pitch black that nothing could be seen. But thank God they were stupid enough to go into the back part of the homes where it really is dark and use some source of light. Thank God it was so dark that we could actually see the headlights and the taillights of the car come on when the flashlights got to the car. Thank God it was so dark that we could see one of those lights running back to the backyard of their home. Thank goodness it was dark, y'all.
There's no street lights in the subdivision whatsoever. If you go online, Google it, whatever, you'll see there's absolutely no street lights in the subdivision. None.
Right.
If is there a possibility that some cameras may not pick up somebody walking in front of them because how dark it is? Yes.
That would be the only thing that would make sense, really.
Right.
Well, he even told me, I remember when he told me that, like, even some detectives did.
You know, it would make sense if it was actually that dark everywhere.
Show up on the cameras.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That makes perfect sense then, because that's been driving everybody crazy. But if it's so dark,
I know, and it's hard for it. Trust me, for everyone out there that cameras will pick up and all this. No, I promise you, not all cameras have the best quality as I mean, the stuff that you see on TV and you see a demo of a camera in a store. It's different when you put it on a house and different elements. So,
okay, so it was so dark that it is logical to conclude that the cameras that Sebastian would have walked by, did not pick him up. And that's something that is logical that people can accept. Absolutely. I think this is a good question. Did Sebastian ever have nightmares? Could he have had one that scared him so badly that he took off?
Folks, has a child of yours ever had a nightmare? Has any child that you know of that's had a nightmare and was so scared that they took off in the pitch black of night running in the dark? Can someone make sure that they hear what I just heard? Because that don't even make fucking sense. Excuse my language, but that's ridiculous. The most ridiculous question I've ever heard.
Has he ever had bad nightmares?
He's had sleeping issues. I mean, look, he doesn't really sleep a lot. That's why he's been,
yes,
but that's been his whole life. That's not just been, like I said, I'm pretty sure, I believe Seth has even mentioned this before as well. Like I've seen a couple times where he slept really well, but I mean, that's when after a hard day of playing, if he's helped with outside work, but for the most part, he's had issues sleeping.
That's a big help in understanding
there
this.
You go.
Has he ever done anything like hit under a neighbor's car or anything like that?
Well,
let's talk
I'm going to
about
say
that.
we have never seen anything like that. There's been somebody that has said something to that effect, but I'm not going to sit here and say for a fact, yes, he has.
Okay.
Like I said,
but later we hear Mr. Chris talking about that whole incident and making it out as if it was Sebastian. But it happened to be someone else, but he didn't explain that part. See, that's how my ears hear what's said.
I don't have an answer for that.
I got a question. I got one for you. Do you think it's possible that he could have left in the evenings on other nights, like at 1 a.m, and came back through the front door and nobody would have known? Like on other, like let's say a dry run, for example. Like he got up in the middle of the night at 1, went out the front door, and then came back in, and nobody would have known, right? Because you don't have a camera. And he
not that I'm aware of. Not that Katie was aware of. I mean, I will say this, and this is for the record. I'm not going to tell you what he does and doesn't do at his father's house. Those are two separate households.
Okay.
And Sebastian is one way at our house. He's a different way at his father's house.
Okay.
That is something that we've all had mutual respect on, all the parents together.
Can you answer what?
Okay. If there was something that Sebastian did at any of the houses, would you not think that parent would say, hey, look, just so you know, this is what he did last night. Be on the lookout. If he had got up at Seth's house, Rhonda, you be careful, okay? Take care of yourself. Let me know you're good and safe. But had he done something like that, left in the middle of the night, Seth's home, Seth would have called Katie and Chris and said, hey, this is what he did. Be careful. Be on the lookout. Any normal parent would do that.
He planning to go live with Seth?
Yes.
Okay. And was he excited about it?
No.
Okay.
At one point,
No, he was not excited to go live at his father's house where he doesn't have to wear pull-ups, where he's free to be who he is, where he has a routine structure with respect. Well, can somebody explain that answer to me? Because my ears heard. He liked being in a home where he had to tell his teachers about the abuse that's happening in his home. Because my ears didn't hear that. Lord.
but no.
Do you know why he changed? Why he wasn't excited?
Yes, because he was informed that he will be doing online schooling vice in-person school.
Okay. Was there a reason for that?
That's personal matters of my
Okay.
family that will not be discussed with.
Understood. And I respect that. Thank you.
Okay, so his father did explain to all of us the online school was just until he would be enrolled into the high school, which he was actually already enrolled to start school in August. He wasn't going to his dad's until after he finished school at his mother and stepfather's house. Lies, lies, lies. No child would ever stay in a home with abuse just to keep from going online to do your schoolwork.
He was on medication. Did he get his medication changed recently?
When you say recently, can you define recently?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know, maybe within the last few months. I'm trying to think of something that maybe would have changed his behavior for some reason.
It's really hard to say yes or no to that, just because he goes and sees his doctors, and then in there they will talk about his medication and things that they want to change or if it needs to change.
Right.
But
No.
I mean, as far as I know, I'm not.
Putting on a show.
I didn't see any difference, but
Trust me.
And is it, and again, this is just something that people want to know. Is it common for you and Katie to talk as long as you did that night?
sure.
Okay. Seth is here. I've asked him to join us. Insightful One, if Seth jumps on, can you please put him on the screen because I can't because of my computer.
Right. I got it.
Thank you.
Have you guys seen the dog scent track? That because you actually showed it to me, right? Remember on the map, Chris? I don't know if you're interested in. It's kind of an interesting route. Of the
Well,
street.
and, are you referring to the like day 1 through 4 dog tracks? Because some of those are.
Well, you had like a dog scent outside the front door,
Yeah.
sort of around by where the fixed light was on
Exactly.
the flashlight, and then north and then around to like a retention pond, something like that. Just short of it.
Stacy, I believe Seth is here.
I got it.
Okay,
Seth, I'm
listen
so
up.
glad that you are here, my dear. Thank you very much. Seth, what would you like to say now?
Got a few questions to ask, Chris.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
You can, yes, he can hear you.
Hey, Chris. So why did you texted me the other day about something I'd already sent Katie an email?
Say it one more time. All I heard was something about an email sent.
Why did you text me about an email I sent on Monday to Katie?
Because I didn't see the information you were getting. What you're referring to is Tony Mathis's phone number. I didn't see it. That's why I asked for it.
I mean, come on, Chris. We're going to work together more than a week communication between
Exactly.
and I'm sending stuff to you and Katie.
Okay, so hear me out.
Drop
I
it.
told you. I told you.
Okay.
I told
Let's
you
not come into
we will
talk,
work
okay?
together.
All right.
I explained to you I'm willing to work with you. You asked me some questions in regard to this dog handler. You asked me questions in regards to going on a social media platform. You've asked me questions about hiring a PR person that will speak for all of us and keep everybody off of these platforms. That's what you asked. Now, if you think I'm not going to do my homework and dig into people and find out who they are first, you're crazy. Because I would expect you to do the exact same thing if I gave you a name.
I don't know what's going on, but did that solve it? I hope.
Oh,
Seth?
Stuff gone.
Uh-oh.
Okay, guys, we're going to take a slight intermission because I got something to show y'all. Y'all just excuse my face. I have no makeup on. I look like a hot mess. Look at this little fella or little girl.
This is Missy. Real name Missile Launcher.
Yep. Look how big her is.
Her name is Missile Launcher. She's a cadet. And this is
Here.
little Emily.
Here you go. That's Missy. And there's our sweet little Emmy. Look how little her is.
Here's Emmy.
This is Emmy.
I mean,
Mia.
Here's Mia.
Yep. Get out. You can't be in the camera.
Yes, I can.
Let me see Mia.
And
And
Missile Launcher can.
hold on. And this is her other sister, Mia.
Missile Launcher, Mia.
They're getting so big. Can you tell the difference in all the sizes?
Angela Lester. If you want a puppy, they're for sale. They're for sale.
Look at this sweet little face. That's our little Emmy Lou.
Excuse you.
Her so sweet.
Give me mine.
Okay, anyways, let's finish this out because I want y'all to hear how he's talking with Seth and the things he says.
I think so. Wait, is this Seth? Did Seth jump off? Let's see. We've got me, Stacy.
Yeah. How about I'll get off the panel. I'm sure it'll make a lot of people in the chat happy. But I just
stop it.
I just wanted to say that
Hey, come
you know I understand what I've seen. What I've seen from the beginning is that there was sides chosen. Now I know you're saying because of this, because of that, but it was Seth good, Proudfoot's bad, and everybody has been in those camps, and they never really got a chance to breathe. And that's probably why Katie went to be with him, because she probably was scared to stay at home by herself, giving these lunatics like JLR, etc., running around chanting and screaming. It's
I agree. It's
That's
horrible.
what I think. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
let's
it
just
should not be that way.
let's just cut.
Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, if my child's missing, I don't care what kind of lunatics are running around. I'm never leaving my home. I'm glad y'all like them. They're so sweet and they're getting fun and they're starting to bark. And it's just the cutest little thing ever and play with each other. But little Emmy, she's so tiny compared to her sisters.
Where I'm coming from, I appreciate communicating with him. We've had nothing but good conversations, and that's it. I mean, that's all I can do. And I've never seen anything that made me go, God, ooh, that's it's weird. I mean, I don't know. I watch the same things you guys have. But anyways, yeah. See you later, guys out there.
See ya.
Take care, Greg.
Bye, Greg.
Does anybody know where Seth went?
I'm working on it.
Okay, thanks.
I do know, I think up in his area, he doesn't have like the greatest signal, because a lot of times when we talk, his
You know what?
phone, he will drop.
Do you want to ask him if he wants to call me rather than go on the internet? Just call me on the phone, and I can put him on, and it'll be a really, really strong signal. I mean, it'll sound really good.
Well, I think it's just like his cell signal up there is not the greatest.
Oh, it's a cell. Okay.
Yeah.
But if he wants to,
I mean, if he's on his cell phone, let me.
Heather, if you want to give him my number, and Chloe has it, feel free. And he can, if it's better for him to call me rather than to jump on.
I'm texting him.
Okay, we can do that. So, hey guys, I don't want to talk about other creators in chat, so let's not do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Agree.
yeah, let's just. I mean, I don't want to give them any.
Right. So let's get to our next question.
Okay, next question. Let me take a look at my notes. Yeah, because I just wrote some things down. Have you had? And I may have asked this and I forgot. Chris, my mind is sometimes mush. Have you had search dogs inside the house and outside?
Yes, I was right.
And what did the dogs hit outside?
So as you know, if anybody's followed Mr. Gray's, what he was talking about, the dog and the trail and the scent and the overlay on the picture. So
If y'all were
there
close, I would
anywhere
give her
from 13
one
to 18
brown.
different dogs have been
Okay.
involved in this search.
Mhm.
On day one, there was 5 dogs. 5. There's an audio dispatch tape that's been released. I don't know who released it. Whatever, I don't have it, but you'd have to dig it to find it. In that audio tape, you actually hear that the deputy sheriff does state that the dog hints toward a scent and takes
A
over
scent.
onto the retention pond and the construction site next door.
A
Okay.
scent.
Yeah. Other dogs,
Okay. A scent. They have said since it was not Sebastian's scent. Oh, sugar beet. I'm glad you liked them. They're so sweet. And little Emmy Lou, she's just my little snuggle bug. Her's just so sweet. She's a snuggle buddy. This is her. This is just us. We just sit like this all the time. She just sits here. She's so cute. So I just love her. Okay, so let's listen some more. We're almost through with this. I know I've kept y'all longer than normal, but I want to get through this. I was hoping to do this yesterday, but the internet issue was just bouncing so bad. But let's get through this.
Did the exact same thing. Now, am I going to say every single dog? No, but I do know of at least 3 dogs that went on the same scent trail, same path. The rest of the dogs, I'm not going to tell you that they're 100% honest and perfect and accurate, because honestly, dogs are only probably 25% reliable.
Lie, 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 and lie some more. This man just can't help himself. It is statistically proven that search dogs, cadaver dogs are 98% correct. And when there's 18 dogs that are proven to be 98% correct and get no scent of Sebastian, he's a bold-faced liar, y'all.
So a scent.
Okay.
Now, 8 days, I've had dogs in my house the first 8 days. Into my house, outside my house, around the neighborhood. So yeah.
So they've been there, and yeah, so they did, you're saying they did hit and they all went to that pond?
No, I didn't say all that. I just told you. I've had 13 to 18 dogs in my house and around my house. I told you 3 different dogs hit on the same path that go to that retention pond.
Right.
That's what I say to every other dog.
Not every dog, but some dogs hit. Okay.
Right. So, but I want this to be crystal clear.
Okay.
So when people say every dog, that is not the case. 3 dogs went on the same path.
Yeah.
That is all that we have on it. The rest of these dogs go in different directions, but it's all unreliable.
Understood. We do have a question from Michelle. Chris, was Ellie able to go in and search the cave they said had collapsed about 10 feet in? I haven't heard this.
Okay, so Ken Widener is the EMA director for Sumner County. They called in all kinds of stuff, got layouts of where these caves were. I don't believe, and I'm not telling you by the gospel, I don't believe they were able to get into certain caves because they were not safe to enter. The one that she
Neuro, anything helps. Anything helps. Seriously. You know, anything helps this. It helps. And if I get Cash Apps or Venmos or anything like that, you know, I'll be honest, I use that for gas. That's what I do. But anything I make from the channel goes to my storage building.
you're referring to that collapsed. Honestly, we know that the one collapsed, but we don't believe they had anything to it.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Let's see here. Let me get my notes. I was taking notes while we were talking.
Amen.
Let's see here. Hold on.
Yes, Meemaw.
So people have been asking, and this may, I don't mean to sound insulting, but people are asking, are you searching? Are you putting up flyers? That's what they're asking.
You are.
Okay.
Yes, and here's why they're asking that question. No, you're not going to find pictures of us out there doing this because it's real simple.
I have no clue if they
all
ever
3
will.
parents initially were told in the beginning not to go out and search them. We needed to be available to talk to law enforcement.
Right. Yeah.
Such has been out there searching and doing his thing. He's had a bunch of people following him. Whether or not he chose that or these people decided to do it on their own accord, that's not for me to say. But we, Katie and I, are not going to have some big, massive search party following us around with a bunch of people that are already threatened death threats, by the way, to us. You know, I'm not doing it. If you were in my shoes, you'd do the same thing. You listen to law enforcement. You do what they tell you to do. Yes, we're out there putting up signs. Yes, we're out there putting up flyers. Yes, we are searching.
Chris, I'm sorry. Did you just say you guys are getting death threats?
Yes, we've been getting death threats. And they have been reported to the TBI. Everything gets forwarded, screenshot, and sent straight to them.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, everyone. I have Seth on my phone, on my JBL speaker. Seth, I want to give you a chance to talk uninterrupted. So please, go ahead.
All right. Mainly, Chris, the communication needs to be a little bit more prompt.
He is.
If I send you an email on Monday and Tuesday, I'm not willing to wait a week to get a response back.
Oh.
I mean, that's unacceptable when we're trying to find Sebastian, buddy.
No, Rita, thank you.
I understand what you're saying. I respect that.
Oh, he respects Seth. Isn't that something? Thank you, Narita, for that. That is so sweet and precious. Can y'all hear her whining? She's so silly. Oh, goodness. Thank you, Narita. That is so sweet. I appreciate you. Y'all, here it goes. He's going to lay it on thick because he has to be that way towards Seth. Here it goes.
Well, when it comes to you asking people to come into my house on my property, who I don't know Adam from Eve, and I really don't care what certification, who can vouch for these people, I don't care.
He don't care, but he let 18 search dogs go in his home, right? He just told us that. Did he know every single one of them? Huh? Mr. Chris, you just told us you let all them dogs go in there. In your home. Oh, Bobby, thank you. But yeah, he ain't going to take Tony Mathis and allow him to come in and sit down with them and talk to them. Nah, can't do it. The man is a walking, contradicting liar. Blue Eyes, how are you, girl? I was wondering about you. Yes, Seth is a man and a dad. Here we go.
I'm going to do exactly what I've always been doing. You send that to me,
Okay, well,
we're going to review it, and then we're going to send it to law enforcement. Let law enforcement go that route, and then law enforcement comes in.
for us
Hold on.
to be on your property.
Hold
See,
on.
this is,
Chris, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Seth, what did you say?
I said, the person to be our spokesman to speak for all three of us doesn't need to be on your property.
Okay,
But
good.
here's what I told
Oh.
him.
I have spoken to him,
When
and I'm going to make this public. I am back working,
Oh,
and I have
yeah.
work hours. I also have to sleep, and unfortunately, I'm on the opposite schedule of you. So respect that. I will do what I can as I can when I can.
I'm sorry, Seth, go ahead.
when did you speak with him, Chris?
What does that got to do with finding Sebastian?
What's it
You
got
don't
to
be a
do with?
spokesperson. I was just asking when you spoke with him.
They're trying to get a spokesperson to speak for all of them at the same time, you know, work as a unit, because that's what they do the best. Mr. Chris told us that they work well together. And now it's, what does that have to do with finding Sebastian? They talked about getting a spokesperson to work with all three of them, remember? And now it is, what does that have to do with finding Sebastian? We're back to finding Sebastian now. Lord, help this man because he needs it, y'all.
I haven't come up with an answer yet. We spoke with him. We told him we'll get back with him after we've done some consideration. We talked with law enforcement.
Yes, he
We'll get back
is,
to them,
Ginger
and we'll let
Snap.
them know
Yes.
our decision.
So,
I know you're on board with that. I do. I mean, I know you're 1,000% on board with Mr. Mathis. I got that. I'm not taking that away from you.
So Chris,
Oh, but he talks
I
about it all
understand
the
like every
time
marriage is
now.
different and husband-wife aspect. You seem very protective of Katie and her having conversations with or without you. But like I said before you came on, I do believe that Katie is the one who,
Marcy's
and
cracking
I'm not
me
saying
up.
it's because she knows what happened to Sebastian, but she was the last person that was with him. And so she does hold the most information, at least up until the point that he was missing.
What information do you think she holds?
Well, I'm going to get to that.
Bye, me
Well,
and
then do me
you.
a favor.
Thanks
Let's
for
just get
being
to it.
here.
Okay.
Don't pour gravy on the mashed potatoes. Just serve the stuff up.
Chris, I'm really trying to be respectful, and this is a very
I am too. So please just get to it.
okay.
No,
So
you're
we would really love to hear from Katie about his body language that day. You know, we've heard from others who are you know, not necessarily good sources about his body language at the bowling alley and his body language here and there. And so we're just really trying to pick up on Sebastian's mood because it could help us understand what led to him walking away off the front porch out the front door?
Well, that is something that if she decides to answer, that's on her. But what I know is even on video, Sebastian was having a great day. He was in a great mood.
Great day.
He got to go to BJ's. He had a colossal popcorn. He
Yes,
hung out with
he
his
is,
family.
Mimi.
He went and played video games
Or
at
Mima.
Strike and Spare. After that, he went and had dinner at Roadhouse, Texas Roadhouse. He ate his whole meal. I mean, everything in the video, even the videos that Seth has seen, he doesn't show any negative signs of he's upset or anything like that. As far as we all know, Sebastian had a great day.
So why would a child that had a great time run away? Go on the front porch and poof, disappear. Why would he do that? If his life was great and hunky-dory. Exactly, Blue Eyes. He did not look happy at Texas Roadhouse. How can you be happy when your mother sits across from you? And the only conversation we've seen so far, he's shaking his head no. He's very disturbed. And the rest of the time, she's on her phone texting pictures of Sebastian to someone else. How is that great for a child? Yeah, happy children do not run away. And TJ is making herself very crystal clear.
No, I mean, it sounds like a really great day. I mean, they did a lot. I was just curious. And like I said, I mean, every relationship is different, and you're protective of Katie and who she communicates without you. And
Katie,
that
for the
has
record,
been a
for the
little
record,
difficult.
but right, hold on a second. But for the record, Katie can speak if she so chooses, and she's done interviews without me.
No, I'm not talking about interviews.
But she spoke without me.
Okay.
I want to clear up something that Chris said about Sebastian going to live with Seth. And Chris, you may ask, what does this have to do with Sebastian missing? It's all part of the narrative. It could mean he ran away. And that is, Chris, did you not say that he was not looking forward to going to live with his father?
He was not having a good day.
Seth, did you know this?
Nope.
Chris, do you want to elaborate?
I'll tell you why.
Yes, ma'am. I will glad to elaborate.
Become a question.
Hold on, Chris, hold on. I'm sorry, Seth, start over. And then Chris, we'll go to you. Seth, go ahead.
I know I was putting him in online school. He needed his therapy. Actually, I've been started with ABA, so on and so forth, before I put him back into the situation, because he's not ready for certain things.
Okay. So
I'm not going to set my son up for failure. I want my son to succeed.
He's going to homeschool until he was ready to go back to regular school. Is that what you're saying?
And it's not really homeschool. I mean, it's an online school.
Okay. Online, right? Online school. That's a better term. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said homeschool. Right. Online school. Totally different.
Really quick, Chris, the day that they had on Sunday with the spaghetti pancakes and bragging to family and BJ's and Texas Roadhouse and bowling and all of these, like, I was like,
and don't forget that day, spaghetti pancakes, bragging to family, going to pick up the niece. Not one time has that story of that daytime events ever changed. None of it has ever changed. The only time the stories have not or have changed is when they got home from Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, she's looking for some ninny, I think. What is it? She's so funny. But yes, the daytime never changes. That whole story never, ever, ever changes. But when they come home from Texas Roadhouse, we're on story number 6. Tell me, how is it that something that you actually physically did that day out in public never changed? But when you're in your home alone with your son and no one else can corroborate any of it, it changes every time they open their mouth.
Best day ever. Was that like a normal weekend for them, or was it like it just?
Okay, sorry. I took the puppy and I realized I muted and then you couldn't hear. I apologize so much. I was hollering at the girls to come get the baby, and so I muted. I don't know if y'all want to finish listening. But guys, very little truth that we found in this story. And this was 1 year ago. 1 year ago. A year. He had only been gone. Oh, Scotty, thank you. That is so sweet. That really. Yes, I want to watch that Chiron case info. Thank you, Scotty. I need to hear that. Sometimes, I get so flustered with myself that I question myself a lot if I'm even doing anything to help. But I wanted to play this because Sebastian had only been gone a month. And this man couldn't tell true statements. Hey, Dorothy. Thank you, Bo. I love y'all so much. And I'm so grateful to have everybody here. And I hope you get the gist of what I was getting at. The stories he made up that we learned later was nothing but a lie. We talk about Katie telling all the different lies and stories and changing and all that stuff, but y'all, Mr. Chris does it just right along with her. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. we're going to keep talking about Sebastian. We may listen to stuff over, that we've already listened to, but that's what we have. And that's what we're going to keep doing, because just like this right here, Mr. Chris said himself, that's what happened because that's what I know. When he walked out that front door onto his front porch and vanished, and Mr. Chris knows. Yes, we always find new things. Just like the money. If they had that much money, they wouldn't need all of us. Sebastian would be home. What the hell does that mean? What does all the money have to do with finding Sebastian and bringing him home? That's my question. Anyways, guys, I'm going to let y'all go. I'll be back tomorrow. I will see y'all about the same time. I try to come the same time every day, so it's pretty regular. And until then, always remember, we're here for Sebastian. He is our reason. When we talk about him, it's about him. It's not ever about Mr. Chris himself. It's about the words he says that avoids and distracts and completely outright lies, so that we don't talk about Sebastian. So, yeah, he just knew it. He knew it. That's what he knew. And then when questioned a little harder, he mumbled around, because, Lord, that's who he is. Yes. All I need is Jesus, coffee, and true crime. That money statement has been huge. Yeah. That poker tournament, or that poker game, plays into this somehow, some way. Or it's a whole different case in its own. Something about that Friday night ties in. There's so many moving parts to this story. But folks, the number one part of the story is Sebastian still alive or not? And where the hell is he? End of story. That's what we want. We want those answers and that truth. But obviously, from the words we hear from his mother and his father, we're not getting the truth. Something needs to be done. Yes. So, guys, until tomorrow, I'm going to tell y'all, have a super great night. Thank you all for the donations, the memberships, the gifting that you did. You are so loved. I hope you all know that. We will be back tomorrow. So until then, love and hugs to everybody. Have a great night. Bye.